Ogenda kulonda akaboxi momo kobireko mu bugalo eriwa Julius box joyonza Julius olonzeyo Julius jebikulira box yo Julius jamu sente zirimu omwo Julius tubuli
tunule eri abantu ozibalage obabulire sente meka
milioni emwe n'ekyo
milioni emwe n'ekyo
obugalo bwa Julius buliwa
obugalo bwa Julius banange
Peace will be back again.
Street Live in association with
Cola. Taste it, believe it.
Amanya agangenze Duke of Francis. Mukatale gubakazaako eri akapaapu tunda ovakkedo kale buli kizze n'emboga obuzibu bwentera okusanga mu byobusuubuzi buno ebbula y'ebirime bitubulaabula tetwesanga nga leero ofunye kaboga enkeera tokafunye ne kakasukamu ovakkedo n'abula n'oddayo mu mboga mukedo nakolamu akaduuka kange gye kali nali siina
Reham Cola. Taste it, believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money.
Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. Do the same for electricity and also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel money instantly. With Airtel Money, you can send money across networks, pay bills, top up to get bonus, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly. Dial *185# to get started.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
NTV, turning on your world.
Eddakiika ebula bbiri zokka okwera essaawa emu mbaaniriza nnyo olwaleero ennaku z'omwezi 6 omwezi ogwa Novemba. Eno ye NTV akawungezi nange Farida Nakazibwe sikulwiseeyo kasooke nkuwe emitwe emikulu.
Ndowooza ekibiina kya FDC kimaze okweraga nti kibiina ky'amaanyi.
Mugisha Muntu akkiriziddwa okumalako ekisanja eky'emyaka 5 waliwo abawagizi abalwanidde ku kitebe ky'ekibiina.
Okufuna empeera entono tekikuwaliriza kulya nguzi.
Enguzi mu kitongole ekiramuzi, abalamuzi 9 bagobeddwa, emisango 161 gye gyakatunulwamu. Olutale Congo, UPDF eyongedde okwenyweza, ababundabunda batottola ebyabatuuseeko. Songa ejjinja, abavubuka 12 banunuddwa, babadde batwalibwa mu buyeekera e Congo. NTV akawungezi nyongedde okubaniriza ewezeemu yennyini. Ekitongole ekiramuzi kyakagoba abalamuzi 9 nga babalanga kwenyigira mu kulya nguzi obutamiivu nga n'abamu banafu ekiyitiridde. Akulira ekitongole ki Judicial Service Commission nga kino kyekivunaanyizibwa kulondola emirimu gy'ekitongole ekiramuzi Kagole Kivumbi yategeezezza ababaka ba Parliament abali ku kakiiko akalondoola ensimbi z'omuwi w'omusolo.
Abalamuzi abagambibwa nti bagobeddwa lwa kwenyigira mu kulya nguzi okubeera balujuuju ate abalala nga banafu tebakola mirimu gyabwe kuliko Omodo Nyanga, Josa Maluko, Gerard Sekajja, Cheputuke, Gaston Kamusa, Jojo Chom, Jenny Chota, Moses Ndifuna ne John Ekituyi.
Era gwe nkwatako kasita nfuna obujulizi nga ye mujjamu mu kitongole ekiramuzi. Nze bukyangenda mu kakiiko mpezeza eddazini bwe gibeera miruli abo naddala abalidde enguzi kasita bakwata ng'olidde enguzi ng'obujulizi mbulina bweru balujuuju nagobayo chief magistrate omu kunywa mwenge obunafu n'omala omusango gumwedde n'otwala ebbanga nga tonnawa nsalayo.
Okusinziira kwa alipoota yakolebwa ku mawanga ga East Africa, ekitongole ekiramuzi kikwata kyakubiri mu kulya enguzi nga polisi ya Uganda yekwata ekisooka.
Abasinga okubeera be magistrate grade 2 magombolola abo be basinga okulya enguzi, naye abasigaddewo waggulu eno bo bakola ebintu mu mateeka naye nga obuli bw'enguzi buli nnyo wansi wano, ndeeterayo enkoko ndeeterayo embuzi.
Ekitongole kya Judicial Service Commission ekivunaanyizibwa ku kugaba emirimu mu kitongole ekiramuzi kitegeeza nti omwaka gw'ebyensimbi oguwedde baafuna okwemulugunya ku balamuzi era ng'emisango 161 gyatunulwamu ekyaviirako abamu ku balamuzi bano okugobebwa. Okunoonyereza kwalaga nti ku mawanga ga East Africa abalamuzi ba Uganda bafuna ssente ntono nnyo bw'ogeraageranya ne bannaabwe abatulinaanye, wabula Kagole Kivumbi agamba kino tebasaanye kukyeyambisa kulya nguzi.
Be balyako enguzi be basinga okubeera obubi. Senga ogamba muntu mu kyalo nti akuleetera embuzi olyoka osala omusango, oli gw'oggyako embuzi ky'ekyobugagga kyokka kyalina. Yes, empeera y'abalamuzi ntono naye ate esinga ku bakozi abalala ba gavumenti.
Kivumbi akubiriza bannayuganda obutasirika busirisi batwale okwemulugunya ku mulamuzi yenna asaba enguzi.
Jangu mu kakiiko aka Judicial Service Commission tulina ennamba zaffe ku mutimbagano zaffe gw'osobola okukuba ng'essimu eyo togisasulidde weemulugunya eri omulamuzi jjo. Bw'olaba omulamuzi atuuka kikeerezi ffe tubuulire, tetulina ngeri ki gye tuyinza kugenda mu maaso kumukangavula nga tewabadde yaga nti omulamuzi ono asituuka kikeerezi. Okutuuka ekikeerezi ku mulimu kukugobya ku mulimu.
Bano babadde mu kakiiko ka Parliament akalondola ensimbi z'omuwi w'omusolo. Jingo Francis, NTV akawungezi.
Webale nnyo Jingo Francis. Ekitongole ekiramuzi ekyo kyekimu ku ebyo ebize byogerwako nga ebifumbekeddemu obuli bw'enguzi naddala ku ddaala eryo wansi. Kyova olaba nga naffe twagalawo endowoozayo ku kyolowooza ekisobola okukolebwa okumalawo obuli bw'enguzi mu kitongole ekiramuzi. Wa endowoozayo ku kisobola okukolebwa okumalawo enguzi mu kitongole ekiramuzi. Weereza endowoozayo nga bulijjo ku NTV Uganda Facebook page oba genda ku 8778 otuwe erinnya lyo tujja kuba tusoma n'endowoozayo tujja kuba tusoma ebimu ku byo. mawulire amalala akakiiko akateekebwawo ekibiina ki FDC okusalawo eggwe ku bisanja omukulembeze byalina okufugira ekibiina kawadde ensala yaako olwaleero. Alipoota y'akakiiko kano esomeddwa abakulira ekibiina olwaleero eraga nti Major General Mugisha Muntu alina okufugira emyaka 5 so si 2 ng'abamu bwe bali balowooza. Waliwo abaali bagamba nti Muntu yajja kujuliza myaka gya Dr. Kiza Besigye egyali gisigaddeyo era ebaddemu ku nsonga ezivaako obutakkaanya mu kibiina. Omukolo guno era gubaddeko obuvuyo nga poliisi eyitiddwa okukakkanya embeera oluvannyuma lw'abawagizi okuwaanyisiganya ebisongovu okukkakkana nga bagwaŋŋanye mu bulago.
Olukiiko lubaddemu okulangira ebivudde mu kusalawo ku kisanja ky'omukulembeze w'ekibiina kya FDC lubadde ku kitebe kyabwe Najjana Nkumbe nga batandise ku ssaawa 7. Luno lwetabiddwamu abakulembeze b'ekibiina kya FDC ab'enjawulo okuli n'abeesimbawo bonna mu kuvuganya ku bukulembeze bw'ekibiina era nga kirangiriddwa nti omukulembeze w'ekibiina kino waakumala emyaka 5 mu buyinza.
Ekyabaawo kyali nti minutes bwe baamala okumaliza ne bakkirizaganya ne basalamu ebyo byonna bye basalamu nga mulimu n'ekyo ekigamba nti emyaka gigenda kuba 5 egy'obwa president tebakisaasaanya.
Ssentebe w'ekibiina Mugisha Muntu agambye nti okusalawo ku myaka 5 omukulembeze yalina okumala ku ntebe kiddiridde akakiiko k'abataka akalondebwa nga k'abantu 5 gattako ebyaleka bisaliddwawo yali omukulembeze w'ekibiina Dr. Kiza Besigye ssaako n'ebyatuukibwako mu lukuŋŋaano olwatula mu Agusito omwaka oguwedde.
Akakiiko ke twateekako ak'abantu 5 kasazeemu nti presidency egenda kuba emyaka 5.
Mugisha Muntu era akkiriza nti waliwo okusomozebwa okuli mu kibiina wabula nga kino kibongera amaanyi na kwenyweza era nga bakola butaweera okulaba nga batwala ekibiina mu maaso newankubadde nga waliwo ebirabika nga tebigenda bulungi.
Tugenda mu maaso okwongera amaanyi. Olaba okumala omwaka nga tulina obutategeeragana bwe tubadde nabo naye kati ne tuvaamu nga tukkirizaganyiza ku nsonga zino mu bumu.
Wabula okuteesa kubadde kugenda mu maaso ate nga bweru w'olukiiko ku kitebe kya FDC wennyini kw'okulwanagana wakati w'abawagizi ba FDC ne poliisi kugenda mu maaso oluvannyuma lwa poliisi okuyitibwa omuntu ategerekese okutaasa omubaka Nabila Nagayi Sempala ssaako ne Kizito Livingstone ssentebe wa FDC mu Kampala.
Come on, go. Excuse me, can you keep quiet? Can you keep quiet? I can keep quiet, but if I go out. Madam, I don't want you to fight in front.
No. Bano kigambibwa nti amu ku bawagizi ba FDC babalumiriza okulya mu lulime ne mu luzise. Poliisi bane batutte ku kifuba oluvannyuma lw'akanyolagana akatutte ebbanga. Wabula omubaka Nabila agambye nti bano bandibanga waliwo yabasindise.
Sindiko babagule mu Kampala muno abantu baasi zisomba olwaleero gwe basombye eggulu era basobola okugamba funa kasente naye omuntu gw'otandikirako ndoozirayo w'ekibuga. Nze kye ndowooza nti mu Kampala abanoonyi ba ssente bangi.
Era bwe tuzimalira saate sigamba nti genda oyite poliisi ate FDC ne poliisi tubyawula bwe tuzze wano okumaliriza nsonga zaffe.
There is no problem that is big in the FDC that cannot be handled, and they have explained to me their issues. They have to do with the Kampala office, and we are going to handle the issues of the Kampala office in the Kampala office, not at the party headquarters.
FDC zeebamu okugugulana era nga mu bbanga ttono eriise omu ku bakungu b'ekibiina kino Major Lubalamira Lulanga yasala eddiro ne yeesoga NRM.
NTV akawungezi Uganda eyongedde okwenyweza ebyokwerinda ku nsalo yaayo ne Congo mu disitulikiti y'Ekisolo bwetutte tanka ennwanyi nga yeekengedde nga yeetegekera embeera yonna eyinza okubalukawo. Kinajjukirwa nti amagye gategeeza nti ekiseera ekyokunaanya kyaweddeko oluvannyuma lw'ebikompola okuddamu okukanyugibwa mu Uganda. Y'omu ku bakongo abaasimatuka okulwanagana attotodde engeri gye yasobola okuwonya obulamu bwe.
Uganda ekyagenda maaso n'okunyweza ebyokwerinda byayo ku nsalo ya Congo. Olwaleero tanka z'amagye ga UPDF endala zirabiddwako mu bitundu by'ekisolo. Sabbiiti eno amagye ga UPDF gategeezezza nti galina obusobozi okukuuma bannayuganda abali ku nsalo era n'okukomya ejjoogo ly'abalwanagana ne batuuka n'okusuula ebikompola mu Uganda. Kati ziweze ennaku 20 bukya amagye ga gavumenti ya Congo gasalawo okwaŋŋanga abayekera ba M23 abaali bawamba ebibuga omuli Bunagana, Rushuru, Kagalama ko n'ebirala ebiwerako. Okulwanagana kuno kuviiddeko abantu abakunukkiriza mu mutwalo mulamba okuddukira mu Uganda nga bakozesa ensalo y'e Bunagana. Mu nkambi y'ababundabunda ey'Nyakabande abakulu bagamba nti embeera esusse obw'omulamuzi.
We already have a population which is almost surpassing 9,000. So by evening, probably the number would be like 9,000 plus or 10,000.
Mu bantu abakuumibwa mu nkambi eno mwe muli musajja mukulu Sadiq Habimana ono alina obulemu ku mubiri gwe era ng'aweza egy'obukulu 50. Habimana attotodde engeri embeera ku kyalo Massi gye yalimu oluvannyuma lw'okulwanagana okubalukawo n'engeri gy'asobola okusimattuka.
Nilikuwa kwa ngambo ya Masisi, alafu nikaona hewa inakuwa mubaya sana, nikajiondia kusema niingie kwa ngambo ya Uganda juu ndapata fasi ya kubakia.
Musajja mukulu n'agamba nti kyamutwalira ebbanga ly'ennaku 3 namba okusobola okutuuka mu kifo ekimanyiddwa nga Tongo ng'ano yafunira mmotoka eyamuleeta okumutuusa ku nsalo ya Uganda.
Kufika pale siku ya 6 nikapumzikia pale siku 2. Alafu siku ya kwanza njoo nikisikia mabomu na kuwa mingi. Tulipita mumakatiriza pembeni mpaka kuingia hapa kudwani.
Mu kiseera kino wadde amagye ga gavumenti ya Congo gagamba nti geddiza enfo zonna eri musajja mukulu ono ebyokudda ku butaka tannabirowoozaako.
Mie si sadiki mzuri kama viti naisha. Ningali tuna wasiwasi.
Go amawanga galinaanye Congo nakati gakyakigumiza nti okuteesa kwe kujja okumalawo obuzibu. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Babale nnyo Julius Senkandwa. Kyo ekibiina ekirwanirira eddembe ly'abaana ki Amcan Uganda kiraliikirivu nti wadde waliwo okwogera kw'amaanyi ku ky'okutyoboola eddembe ly'abaana omuze guno gukula bukozi. Amcan Uganda eriko alipoota gyefulumizza olwaleero eraga nti abaana bangi e Busoga ne Acholi batulugunyizibwa ssaako okukabasanyizibwa.
Gye buvuddeko NTV yabalaga omwana ono Mayuge eyakoma mu kibiina eky'omukaaga bwe yafuna olubuto natasobola kweyongerayo mu kusoma. Jjajjaawe byali byamusobera dda kubanga wakutaano
ndi muyinza okukola decision y'okutambula naye ate ne mutomera so ne tugamba kyagala okuteekamu okutracking essimu.
Ebbula ly'emirimu mu bitundu bya Busoga kigambibwa nti kyekivuddeko ekizibu kino kubanga abantu bangi abeefuula abayamba abaana ate oluvannyuma ne babeefuulira.
NTV akawungezi tugenda kukumulamu katono ddala naye teweerabira okuwa endowoozayo ku kiki ekisobola okukolebwa okulwanyisa enguzi mu kitongole. Ekiramuzi eddakiika ziri 16 eziyiseekwemu tovaawo sokola bibiri mu kitundu ekyokubiri. Ab'e Kasokoso balaajanye kati baagala President Museveni yabaakola ku nsonga zaabwe. Linda olaba omusajja alina ekyama mu kulima amayuni mulima Lunda Gaggawala.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr.
Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. Do the same for electricity and also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. With Airtel Money, you can send money across networks, pay bills, top up to get bonus, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly. Dial *185# to get started.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Stand by and split. Action.
What's up? Feel it within.
Tonight on NTV.
MTN Yellow. Congratulations.
MTN celebrates 15 years. And of course, Halloween night.
Wow. Stick to the script. There are many layers to a woman. Peel back these layers and figure out exactly what type you're dealing with.
That sounded almost enlightened.
Because once you do, her lady garden awaits.
And he's back.
You seen the ratings? This guy's a lightning rod. How's that possible?
Tonight on NTV.
Oli ku NTV akawungezi nga situnawumula nakusabye wendowoozayo ku ki ekiyinza okukolebwa okumalawo enguzi mu kitongole ekiramuzi. Wendowoozayo ku kisobola okukolebwa okumalawo enguzi mu kitongole ekiramuzi. Ezimu ku zo zituuse era kamba somereko ezimu ku zo. Alinayitwa Mpangaza Fred agamba bavudde mu bizimbe bya gavumenti ne bapangisa ebizimbe bya bbeeyi lwakulya njawulo kati batulimba ki. Samuel Emmanuel agamba bateeke mu nkola era banyweza amateeka agalwanyisa enguzi. Tumwijuki Robert gavumenti esasule bulungi abakozi baayo okulwanyisa omuze guno. Nabende Isaiah agamba nze ndowooza ba court clerks be basinga era basaana kugobwa. Enguzi etongozebwe ejjibweko omusolo Uganda yonna eyonoonese. Eyo ndowooza ya Kabuye Sula. Songa ye Patrick Muganga agamba ekyennaku enguzi teva mu bbanga era kyenandisabye kwe kubonereza oyo abagiwaddeyo wamu n'oyo agiridde. Nze Muganga Patrick Ekinoni. Namutebi Shamira agamba strict laws should be put in place. Songa ye Tony Jomba agamba nti kiva ku musaala ogubaweereddwa. Enda kwongera okusoma ezimu ku ndowooza zammwe nga sinnakomekereza NTV akawungezi. Bwe tweyongerayo abantu mu kitundu ky'e Kasokoso kati baagala President Museveni yabayingira mu nsonga zaabwe. Kinajjukirwa nti olukiiko olwayitiddwa ab'ebyokwerinda okumalawo obugulumbo mu kitundu kino terwawedde oluvannyuma lw'abatuuze okutabukira mmeeya wa Kira Town Council Mamerito Mugerwa ne bamukuba n'emmotoka ye ne bagyokya. Kati ssentebe w'ekitundu kino Ali Mwada agamba nti Museveni yasobola okugonjoola ensonga zaabwe n'ekitongole ki National Housing.
Olukiiko lwabadde lugendereddwamu okutema empenda okusobola okumalawo enkayana wakati w'abatuuze ne National Housing olunaku lw'eggulo lwaggweeredde mu masasi. Kati abatuuze nga bayita mu ssentebe waabwe Ali Mwenda bategeezezza nti bagenda kuddamu bayita omubaka w'abakyala owa Wakiso Rosemary Seninde n'omuduumizi wa poliisi mu Kampala Andrew Felix Kawes mu lukiiko lulala nga baagala bano babatuusiza ensonga zaabwe ewa President Museveni.
Nga President kubanga kino ekintu ekituuse abamu kibasukkulumye kati kituuse wa President yalina okujja asolovinga ensonga eno ku ground.
Mwanda agambye nti olukiiko lwabadde lutambula bukwakku naye Mamerito ye yavuddeko emberebezi.
Abantu b'e Kasokoso babadde bateefu nnyo era nga abantu bawuliriza ensonga bulungi nnyo nga babadde bazaagala tewabadde obuvuyo bwonna okutuusa nga meeya amaze kutuuka mu kifo ekyo.
Motoka ya Memerito abatuuze bajokeza so nga ssentebe agamba nti omuntu omu ye yakubiddwa essasi.
Nga batuuka ku geeti waliwo omukyala gwe baakubye essasi okugulu naye ne bamutwala mu patro. Ate era mu kiseera kye kimu ebimu bye nagenza okuddamu okutegeera okubuuza nti kyekiriyo nga simanyi nti n'emmotoka ya meeya yabadde ku geeti oba yasigaddewo. Ngenda okuwulamu nti emmotoka bagikolezaako omuliro.
Sabbiiti eno poliisi yayimiriza ekitongole kya National Housing okwerula empenda z'ettaka lino okutuusa ng'ensonga zaabwe zimaze okwekenneenyezebwa. Peter Muwes, NTV Akawungeezi.
NTV Akawungeezi ekitongole eky'obwannakyewa ki Anti-Corruption Coalition ekyefunyiridde okulwanyisa enguzi kitadde ekitongole ekiramuzi ku nninga kinnyonnyole lwaki kkooti evunaana abalyake nakati tennaggulwawo. Kkooti eno yayimirizibwa oluvannyuma lwa kkooti etaputa amateeka okusalawo nti yali eteereddwawo mu bukyamu. Bano bagamba nti okulwawo okutereeza ebikwatagana ne kkooti eno kyongera kutumbula bulyake.
Naye kati bwe tugamba nti kkooti ewozesa abakenuzi paka kati emyezi gigenda kwera 6 nga kkooti eno yayimirizibwa nga ensala ya kkooti ya ssemateeka tennaba kubaawo, tekirabika bulungi naddala bw'otunuulira mu Uganda essaawa zino nti Uganda y'emu ku ezo ensi ezikyakola oba eselebye mu kulwanyisa obuli bw'enguzi. Ebiseera ebisinga abantu abeeyimirirwa kakalu ka kkooti namala emyaka n'ebisiibo nga misango gyo tebanaba kugiwulira. Kati ojja kusanga nti abamu baabata kumala myaka 1, 2 oba 3 bakyali ku kakalu ka kkooti bali wabweru bayinaayina. Naye tukimanyi nti ebiseera ebisinga emisango gino begirwawo fayilo ziyinza okubula oba n'obujulizi obuli ku fayilo zino bajja kutuuka okubiwuliriza nga obujulizi omu tebuliwa ne fayilo ezimu zaabula.
Yes, Sekagaba akulira Anti-Corruption Coalition. Amayuni ge gamu ku bika by'emmere binnansangwa era ng'abantu bangi tebagalimanga nga ekyetunzi wabula ng'emmere egerekerwa obugerekerwa. Kyokka emirembe bwe gigenze gikyuka amayuni kati kyatunzi era ensawo bw'eba si nywevu togajja ku mudaala. Ekimera kino nno waliwo abakifuniddemu ddala nga Reverend Canon Ephraim Sessanga w'ebukakala mu Mpigi.
Ebiseera ebisinga amayuni abantu bagalya kuwerekereza mmere era kino oba oliawo kyekyagalwisaawo okuleetebwa mu butale okugatunda. Kyokka ensangi zino gagenze galinnya nga kati akatale kaago kali waggulu kuba omulengo guliko amayuni 3 gokka gugula siringi za Uganda 20,000 nnamba. Kati nno gwanoonya okwefunira ku nsimbi wano w'oyinza naawe okutandikira. Reverend Canon Ephraim Sessanga ow'ebukakala mu district y'Empigi kino ye yakirengera dda era nga mulimi w'amayuni ag'ekika kya bwayiise.
Gawooma nnyo nalaba nga mulimu ssente eziwera ate ne bano nga bwe tuli mu Mpigi Town Council nga gajja kugulwa omuwendo mulungi kubanga bageetaaga nnyo.
Sessanga agamba amayuni ag'ekikanga kino tegateganya nnyo kulima. Kyeweetaaga ly'ettaka eggimu obulungi nga liri kumpi n'amazzi kubanga amayuni gakulira awantu nga waweevu. Eno y'ensonga lwaki abasinga bagalimira mu bisenyi oba mu ntobazi.
Taaga okulongoosa obulungi bw'onoosimba amayuni go wonna wonna obeere nga olongooseza obulungi omuddo gwonna ogusse. Ekyokubiri weetaaga okumanya amabanga go ekinnya kyogenda okusimbamu amayuni nga bwe kinenkana. N'olwekyo bw'okisima ne kibeera nga fuuti okuva kwemu n'okukkako wansi obeemu n'ekitundu ate wano n'obugazi nakyo ne kibeera bwe kityo nga kinene kwegamba ejjuuni lyo ligejja ne libeera bulungi.
Ate n'amayuni geetaaga kusimba nga sizoni y'enkuba yakatandika. Wakati w'emyezi 6 ne 10 amayuni gaba gatuuse okukungulwa. Bw'oba ogalabiridde bulungi ejjuuni limu lyokka lisobola okugejja ne liweza kilo eziri wakati w'5 ne 10.
Weyolera ssente wano mu tawuni kubanga erimu liyinza okugula okuva ku siringi entono ennyo ziva ku 1,000 naye zitera okugula siringi wano mu town nga 2,000.
Obugumiikiriza kikulu nnyo bw'oba osazeewo okulima amayuuni n'ekigendererwa ky'okugatunda. Ekisooka, amayuuni tegalinga lumonde oba muwogo nti ku kikola ekimu oyinza okuggyako agawera. Ekirala nago galumbibwa akawuka akagaviirako okwotoka amakoola n'okuwuttaala.
Naye okusinga galwala muddo, geetaaga okukoola naye gatwala ssente okukoola. Awo emyezi nga 8 nga tokutte ku ssente wabula ng'ofulumya n'olwekyo twetaaga nnyo ekyo kisoomoza nnyo obulamu bw'omuntu alima amayuuni.
Amayuuni era tegeetaaga kulwisa mu ttaka nga tegannakungulwa kuba gasobola okuvundira mu mazzi mwe gaba gakulidde.
Lima londa gaggawala emboozi eyo tulina essuubi nti esobola okuyamba abalimi gye muli okubaako bye mutereeza mu ngeri gye mulima. NTV akawungeezi ekyagenda mu maaso eddakiika 28 eziyise. Ka tugenda kuwummulamu katono ddala bwe tukomawo ogenda kumanya lwaki omupiira ogw'omukwano wakati wa Uganda ne Rwanda guliko enkyukakyuka ezigukoleddwako. Tovaawo.
It's time to go dancing in Aringo, because if you're on Airtel or worried, you stand a chance to win up to 5 million shillings every day.
5 million!
I'm on my way coming,
yeah.
So just be ready to enjoy this 5M.
Twabale yo mwe namba gamba awakazanyigiye kali kato. Mbasaba muzana kazano ka diriyo nino muhangure sente nkizina hangura.
Yes, 5 million shillings ayo diruyo. All you have to do is SMS the word win to 188, answer the simple questions that follow, and then you will enter a draw to come to NTV and get a chance to simply pick a box and win loads of cash.
Only with Airtel.
Confidence.
Must Watch is brought to you by
Welcome to the new world.
Who are you?
Oh, this is Rick.
I'm his agent. Since when do you have an agent?
And since when is it okay to book late night without the producer's approval?
Actually, it's late. It's too late. And since he became the hottest personality on morning TV...
I just found out that Mike's being offered a job at a CBS affiliate in San Francisco at twice the pay. Craig Ferguson is his audition.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I'm serious. Now, if Bob and Harold find out about this, we're dead.
Welcome to the new world. It's a new stadium. Welcome to the new world.
Mu mizannyo olwaleero waliwo enkyukakyuka ezikoleddwa mu ntegeka y'omupiira ogw'omukwano wakati wa Uganda ne Rwanda ogubadde ogw'okuzannyibwa ku Lwokutaano lwa ssabbiiti ejja. Kitegeerekese nti kati omupiira guno guzziddwa ku lunaku lw'omukaaga nga 16 mu kisaawe e Namboole. FUFA era etegeezezza nti baddiifiri abagenda okulamula omupiira guno kati baakuva Tanzania so si Kenya.
Tiimu ya Rwanda egenda okuttunka ne ginnaye ya Uganda mu mupiira ogw'omukwano yakutuuka mu ggwanga ku Lwokutaano luno. Uganda ne Rwanda kati baakuzannya ku Lwomukaaga oluvannyuma lw'abategesi aba FUFA okukyusa omupiira ne bagujja ku Lwokutaano ne baguza ku Lwomukaaga mu kisaawe e Namboole.
Era ng'omupiira guno gugenda kusambibwa ennaku z'omwezi nga 16 ogwa Novemba omwaka guno, era nga gujja kusambibwa e Namboole mu kisaawe ky'e Namboole nga gutandika essaawa 10 ez'olweggulo.
Tiimu zino zombi zijja kuba zeetegekera empaka za Sekafa ezigenda okubeera e Kenya okutandika nga 27 omwezi guno, ate nga Uganda era ejja kuba yeetegekera empaka za CHAN ezigenda okubeera mu South Africa mu January omwaka ogujja. Tiketi zijja kutundibwa mu bifo eby'enjawulo era nga zijja kuba zitundibwa kusingisa $1,000 n'emitwalo 2 pavilion, era nga tusuubira nti barefari abagenda okulamula omupiira guno bagenda kuva Tanzania. Wadde nga wabaddewo ebigambibwa nti abazanyi Emmanuel Okwi ne Godfrey Walusimbi bayinza obutakkirizibwa kuzannya mu mpaka za CHAN, FUFA etegeezezza nga bwe wandikidde CAF ekibiina ekifuga omupiira mu Africa okubawabula mu nsonga eno. Bwe tutunula mu mateeka agaddukanya empaka eza CHAN, tulaba nti omusambi ono asaanidde okuba nti asamba kuba ensonga ze FIFA yamukkiriza asambire mu kilabu zaffe eza wano era FUFA n'emuwa license. Omuteresi wa ttiimu y'eggwanga Micha agamba nti asazeewo ekijja kijje naye nga wakukozesa abazannyi abazannyira mu liigi y'eggwanga bokka mu mpaka za Sekafa nga yeetegekera empaka za CHAN. Sam Mpoza, NTV Akawungeezi.
Webale nnyo Sam Mpoza. Mu mizannyo emirala ekibiina ekifuga omuzannyo gw'okuvuga ddigi mu ggwanga kiyungudde ttiimu y'abavuzi ya 20 abasimbula olunaku lw'enkya okugenda e Kenya okulwanira enguli y'amawanga ag'amasekati ga Africa mu mpaka ezigenda okubeerawo ku Sunday eno. Musaayi Muto, Maxim Van P ne Arthur Blick be bakulembedde ttiimu eno eyeetaaga okuyunga obubonero 409 bannakenya bwe basinza Uganda mu mpaka zino.
Uganda egenda kuweerezayo abavuzi 22 nga muno mulimu Maxim Van P ne munne Olivier Van P abajja okuba nga batunkana ne Shivam Vinayak ne Tutumaina wa Kenya ne Arthur Blick naye ajja kwetabamu mu zino empaka. Tujja kubeera nga tuteekanyesira ku classes eza wansi eza 50 ne 65 cc mwe tutadde abavuzi 4 buli class, ate ne 85 cc tulinamu abavuzi 3, MX2 tulinamu abavuzi 4, ate nga mu MX1 tulinamu abavuzi 4 nate.
NTV akawungezi dakiika ziri 36 eziyiseemu katulabe entebereza y'obudde nkomewo mbasomereze ku ndowooza zammwe ate tugafundikire.
New Mortin Doom Power Guard. Nothing kills faster and keeps killing for longer. New Mortin Doom Power Guard. Nothing kills faster and keeps killing for longer.
Abali mu byuma bantegeezezza nti akadde katuweddeko naye nga bwe nabasuubiza waakiri kansomeyo endowooza 3 zokka mbasiibule. Kansome Sophie Katunabi agambye nti sirowooza nti enguzi eyinza okuggwawo okuggyako sisitemu yonna eyiibwe oba bagikyuse. Bashir Abdulaziz agamba bakwate omukoomu bateeke mu kkomera ate bamusalire ebbanga ddene. Richard Nsubuga agamba babagobe mu kitongole obutaddamu n'empapula zaabwe baziyuzeemu oluvannyuma babavunaane. Kansembyeyo Charles Semakula agamba nti ate oba nabo bakimanye kuba tebeegaana kale ndowooza ekitongole etongozebwe kubanga side business yaabwe era URA beetegeke okubajjako omusolo. NTV akawungezi bwetyo bwegenze eddakiika ziri 38 eziyiseeko nange kankomekkereze nze Farida Nakazi bwe mbaagaliza ekiro ekirungi tusinkane nate enkya mweraba.
NTV, turning on your world.
My whole life is on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Google. It almost feels like I live a virtual life. And not just me, but all my friends are always online. How? Well, Airtel and Worried have joined hands. And with all the amazing stuff I used to get earlier, now I get a lot more. Countrywide coverage, smart internet packs, and the best of all, affordable prices. I'm Moshe, and now I'm Airtel.
7.2 million Ugandans now have access to fast and affordable internet, and they are all on
Airtel.
Chug, bottle of Sprite. If you weren't here, there would only be sadness. Lemon and lime, lemon, lime. Good job. You're in him. Good job, bottle of Sprite. Good job.
The Monitor Thought Leaders Forum 2013.
Very relevant in terms of Uganda is experiencing growth. Uganda is expected to be a medium income country by 2017. It will help us to think differently. It will also help us to come closer to those goals.
Ashish will be the keynote speaker at the Monitor Thought Leaders Forum to be held on November 15th at Kampala Serena Victoria Hall. Book your exclusive seat today by calling Jackie. Sponsored by Airtel, Ecobank, Eskom Uganda, Postbank, and Esleska Business School.
Do you share the school of thought that there is a mess in the opposition currently in the country?
I think that the opposition in Uganda, I don't know whether to say they punch above their weight.
No holds barred.
Opposition parties in Africa do not tend to be constructed around policy differences. FDC lacks a glue to hold its coalition of different power-hungry individuals together.
Incisive.
You see, the NRM is more divided internally than the FDC. The advantage with the NRM is it has political power.
Analytical.
I think that one of the best organized political parties in Uganda is the PPP, the People's Progressive Party with Ansari. This idea that everybody is peddling around the world that Africans are poor and they cannot contribute to their own political and social emancipation is crap. In fact, I think that the opposition parties in Uganda have to win an election in an unfair and unleveled ground.
Newsnight with Andrew Mwenda.
Open Mega Millions with Coke Connect. 20 lucky people win 1 million shillings each every week. There are also cool mega prices from Samsung, like phones, laptops, TVs, fridges, and much more. And the mega grand prize of 100 million shillings. To enter, open your Coke, Fanta or Sprite, check under the crown for a code, SMS the code to 6010 or go to coconnect.ug. Enter the code where you'll also get your 10 MB free. Open mega millions with Coke Connect.
All these are simply false accusations.
Of course they are false. I have no reason to kill anyone, even if I threatened him.
Drop all investigations against Usha, me, or else.
Or else what?
Is that smell?
Mom, this is Sweetie, the person I was telling you about.
Oh, the homeless prostitute.
Stop.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous and false, and you all know it. Please believe me. I did not do what Usha is claiming I did. Wasn't it your responsibility to make sure that the goods were inspected?
Today's highlight with
Nice and lovely body lotion.
You lousy bastard! You don't know what you just did. Did you forget the danger you're in now?
I know perfectly
now I'm going
what
to
I did.
destroy you.
I know perfectly, and so do you.
The house that we grew up in, the house that my mother cared for, is no longer ours. It's in her mother's name.
Oh, and you'd better respect my mother, Kay. She has a name. Hey Batista.
An improved Nice and Lovely body lotion. The 24-hour skin moisturizer that's your skin's best friend.
The best in me.
This is NTV. This program is rated PG. It is suitable for children ages 8 and above, but parental guidance is advised as it might contain mild violence and mature situations.
Login is brought to you by
Club, tastefully different.
Good evening, wonderful people. Thank you for tuning into the show. You're watching Login, of course, with me, your girl, Robin Kirsty. And man, this week so packed with a lot of entertaining things. First of all, I have to tell you things you can't miss this week. His Excellency Bad Bobby Wine will be having his Akalimo concert this 8th. Yes, it's on the 8th. Very free, of charge. I've never seen a concert like this. Mr. G will be in the house. It's a whole dance or, you know, Jamaican meeting Ugandan kind of thing. So make sure you don't miss Akalimo concert at the Cricket Oval on the 8th. Bad Bobby Wine on Banda Waka Waka. I salute you for that concert. So we'll be right there. And of course, Life and Hope is also having an arts exhibition at Fairway Hotel from the 6th to the 10th. So go and see some amazing art. If you love art, this is the place for you. From the 6th to the 10th, the Life and Hope will be having their arts exhibition at the Fairway Hotel. But you're watching Login, and make sure you don't go anywhere because we have so much for you. Welcome to the show. Starting off was the MTN dinner. They're making 15 years in the business, serving you Asante Sana, So guys, MTN was celebrating their 15 years at the Serena, and it was just an amazing, fabulous, of course, corporate dinners always. Check this out.
Da, 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 baby, da, 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 da. Oh, yeah. You go chop banana. Sexiness. See that sexy girl from Ghana. She too fine, one of a kind. I call her sexy nana. Yeah. She kill him inside, I can't deny her. Yeah, yeah. Cupid drop the instrumental straight from Ghana. Yeah, yeah. Say I been killing every show, I been rocking every party. All the sexy ladies pull up and do the dirty wine for me. Say I've been killing every show. Every day I'm getting money, and I wanna spend it all on the girl of my dreams. And that's you.
15 years ago, MTN set foot in Uganda, 21 October 1998, and today, according to the super brands of East Africa, we are the #1 brand, in Uganda. But I don't think, certificates from any organization or any company, is really needed when you set foot in Uganda and you see, the power of the brand and, what we've done for communities and the communities that we operate in. And, as a member of MTN, I'm extremely proud to be working for the organization. And on the other hand, I'm also saying great thanks to the people that have supported us.
Our valued customers, suppliers, dealers, I stand here today just to say one word. Thank you so much. They say in business, especially service business, success is measured not by how many new customers you get. It's measured by how many old customers you keep. Asante sana, apoyo mate, whatever it is, we are very grateful on behalf of myself, the board, and the shareholders.
Telecommunication industry is a success story in Uganda, East Africa, and Africa. But in Uganda, and maybe in other parts, MTN was the first industry to kickstart the success story. The first company to kickstart the first story. It's amazing to see the clientele growing up to 8.4. Actually, I thought it was 7.8, but it's 8.4 million, covering the market share of 54% in this country. We congratulate you over that.
MTN Yellow! Congratulations once again. Thank you very, very much.
Dance has definitely come a long way here in Uganda. Hot Steps and NTV, we've definitely been promoting dance. However, now there's a new movie called Game On, the first ever dance movie in Uganda, and it will be premiering this Saturday. This is an interview from Kevin, the director of this movie. Check it out.
It's my best movie among the movies I've directed so far. It's my best movie, and why it's again the best? It's because we're using the very talent in Uganda, our very own people, our own guys. The talent that you people have not seen out there is the talent that we brought in. We made sure we put it together, and we see these guys jump up and down, doing all the mysterious moves, things that me myself I didn't know of, but I saw guys do them on ground, and this makes it a very nice movie and the first ever dance movie in Uganda, and actually the best movie in Uganda.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's going to be premiering on 9th November, actually this very Saturday coming on. Yeah, it's going to be a red carpet thing, so I'm expecting guys to come when they're very smart for the red carpet. I mean, this being a dance movie, of course, if you're putting in like a theme something, I suppose you can kind of dress up in a dance something if you want.
It's a dance theme.
It's a dance theme, exactly. So just be free, put it on anything and make the event colorful. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be interesting. So you gotta come. It's only 20,000 in case you're interested of coming, flat 20. VIPs and ordinary, everybody's a VIP. It's gonna be at National Theatre.
Now it is 20 million shillings.
Let's take a quick break. Don't miss me much.
NTV, turning on your world.
You are so late. You're almost on.
Dude, I'm sorry I'm late, but hey, traffic.
Let's go. Let's just do this. And we're on in 10. What?
Can I get some Eno?
Eno neutralizes stomach acid fast.
And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good morning to you, early rider.
Eno gets to work in seconds. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Mavuno Yetu, celebrating East African harvest, banquet, dance, culture at Lake Victoria Serena Resort and Spa on November 8, 2013. Time 7 p.m. Dinner and dance. Fee 80,000 shillings per person. For reservations call +256 417 121 000 or email lakevictoria@serena.co.ug.
Must Watch is brought to you by...
Welcome to the new world.
Who are you?
Oh, this is Rick.
I'm his agent. Since when do you have an agent? And since when is it okay to book late night without the producer's approval? Actually, it's late. It's too late. And since he became the hottest personality on morning TV...
I just found out that Mike's being offered a job at a CBS affiliate in San Francisco at twice the pay. Craig Ferguson is his audition.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I'm serious. Now, if Bob and Harold find out about this, we're dead.
Welcome to the new world. It's a new stadium. Welcome to the new world.
Welcome back from that quick break. As you all know, Club has been unplugging our artists week on, and it's amazing because, you know, it's been such a long time, and they did another yet unplugged. It was at Club Silk Check this out.
Califasta Red Rasta, Brandon chapter middle like I'm your master. Nankuba music engineer poster. Never Califan, Pagina Manchester. Not come back so presenting them call me Khalifa. Ayo. On your TV watch me them call me Khalifa. Not come back so representing. Come watch me today. Gonna be unplugged. Khalifa live. Club soon.
Omusajja omulungi takuba bwakuba tetalumya omusajja omulungi takuba bwakuba tetalumya them call me Khalifa digibawa mu aganaga kirabesiwo ewala gye muvudde nga mukuba ekkubo eriwo omukwana eryabatusa n'embufumbo obimutamiza buli lwodda n'oyomba kati sanyi wakali abula amulina sima kuvira ddala emusoka my baby nakyaza kuvira ddala eri mu kusooka my baby you know me girl my them call me you know 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 them call me I say wait I'm on Califasta Red Rasta Brandon chapter master Yakuba music engineer pasta Never California fucking Manchester baby say I tamani kumya city say I tamani kumya city as them call me Khalifa my baby say oh my baby mina konda mama amina konda mama hey wait anapela baby koya sigira mama my baby sija pokabya atega sija kuchawa sababu kama bali nekomotwala bamwe bomba batamujagaliza kuli amulaba yagala mukwana tole musirite tusaze pokete sirite rede kapete rede kwebera weekend tole nekira butusa ze pokete kera rede kapete rede kwebera weekend mutego muntu unachita katenga tutala kokira ko yeto ekane tole kokira butusa ze pokete kera rede kapete rede kwebera weekend am I baby them call me you know them call me you know them call me
Like I told you, the show is really going to be packed with a lot of entertainment, and this was the Hope North dinner that we managed to attend. Enjoy.
Up North Uganda celebrated with a number of people. They held a dinner recently that had an aim of keeping the conversation about the effects of the war that was recently ended in northern Uganda. Works of African art were exhibited as well as entertainment in different cultural dances brightened up the night.
Founded Hope North Uganda in 1996 when the Lord's Resistance Army abducted my younger brother Omony Godfrey from Sir Samuel Becker and later on killed him. And so I thought that because of that I should create a safe space for the children of northern Uganda south of the Nile. And so I started a school at the current Kiriandongo district, and over the years we have supported over 3,000 young people and given them education and given them full scholarship and try to rehabilitate them so that they become better citizens of this country, because I believe that the best gift that we can give our people is education, is to give them knowledge, because once a person has knowledge, then they have the ability to make decisions based on fact rather than emotion.
Time to take another quick break. Don't forget you're watching Login.
NTV, turning on your world.
I would like to discuss about unemployment among the youth.
The topics I would love you report to discuss on the show are topics concerning health,
unemployment, illiteracy, the poor state of the roads.
For the next couple of weeks, we will meet young people across Uganda to discuss issues affecting us in our communities.
As well as let them know what we want.
If the youth reporters talk about certain issues, we are able to know. And once we know, you run there and see what exactly is happening.
Your report provides a platform for you to be able to amplify your voice through local and national media. Become a Your reporter today because your voice matters.
Have your say. Text the word join to 8500 for free. Your report, because your voice matters.
Can we help? Can we lend a helping hand? Let's run for water.
Register for the MTN Kampala Marathon 2013 at the MTN Arena Lugogo from the 12th to the 20th November. Come run and help bring clean water to communities in need.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Every October there is a day called Halloween night. And this is a Western culture and it has spread all over. And here in Uganda, of course, we had to do it. Yes, people dressing like zombies, dressing like Nicki Minaj, dressing like the Kabaka. People, you get a chance to dress anyhow, how you like it, as a princess, whatever you prefer looking like. And this year, people dressed like all crazy kind of stuff. It was a party on the 31st. Check this out, Halloween night.
Halloween is one of the oldest holidays still celebrated today in different parts of the world. It's one of the most popular holidays, second only to Christmas. While millions of people celebrate Halloween without knowing its origins and myths, the history and facts of Halloween make the holiday more fascinating. Halloween is on October 31st, the last day of the Celtic calendar. It was originally a pagan holiday, honoring the dead. Halloween was referred to as All Hallows Eve and dates back to over 2,000 years ago. All Hallows Eve is the evening before All Saints' Day, which was created by Christians to convert the pagans, and is celebrated on November 1st. The Catholic Church honored saints on this designated day. The logging crew attended different Halloween celebrations at Gatomato and at Mishmash here in Kampala.
With lipstick and eye stuff. My wife put it for me number 2, and number 3, she likes bow ties. This is why I wear. And number 1, she likes the trick.
Time I'm doing a Halloween party in Uganda, and I think every year it's getting better and better. People are pouring in. I like the decoration. Everything's looking good so far. I find that every year Ugandans are getting more and more into dressing up, which is really cool. Like when I look around, I see so many awesome costumes, so it's really cool.
You hear the door slam. Realize there's nowhere left to run.
Hey, I want to see some people on the dancing floor together one time. Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. What's the name of your DJ tonight? DJ 8 months. With DJ. Come on. I want to see some ladies on the dancing floor one time. Everybody come on. Everybody come on. Everybody come on. Somebody say, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. A good one, a good one, a good one, a good one, a good one. Hey.
This little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you only say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote.
Well, guys, thank you very much much for watching the show. I'm sure you enjoyed the show. If you didn't, make sure you let me know on our Facebook page. And I want to remind you, don't forget, a night in Vegas will be happening here at Governor on the 8th, which is this Friday. Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, so I won't be here to tell you exactly what went down. I will be here, but my camera won't be here. You know, that's just the rule. Well, make sure you come here and check it out. Thank you for watching the show. I mean, you guys, thank you for being loyal. We love you all. Have a good night.
Club is brewed longer for easier drinking, brewed slower for great taste. Club, tastefully different.
NTV, turning on your world.
Countries, 24 artists, and 50 songs.
I was a housewife and I wanted to raise my kids, but then be able to make some money as well. It was the right kind of business. I buy quality stuff in the States and...
Looking around Uganda's most busy business centers, one cannot miss the growing market and demand for clothing, mainly from Asia and China, to be specific. But at the same time is demand from buyers who prefer quality. Explainers such as US are also sought after. The appreciation of this market segment's existence prompted Olivia Bossa Ansel to venture into importation of clothes from the US.
I was a housewife and I wanted to raise my kids, but then be able to make some money as well. And so, yeah, I'm Ugandan, but spend time in the US, so it was the right kind of business. I buy quality stuff in the States and bring it here and sell it, because I know there's a lot of people that would want to get quality stuff here that, you know, maybe don't have the time to travel or go around town. Which is also hard because since we are mostly full of China and Turkey stuff. So I thought it was the right thing to do.
Starting this kind of business, however, was also out of a bad experience, going shopping and not getting her choice of clothes. This reignited her zeal to start dealing in the same.
And when I was coming here, I was like, you know what, I'll just get a dress in Uganda. I grew up there, I know I can go around and find something nice. So whenever we got here, you know, I woke up in the morning, I'm like, you know, it's just going to be easy, go to town, go in a shop, buy a nice dress, and go to the party. I did go around. I looked for, I spent a whole day looking. It was a bit hard, so in the end, I ended up settling for a dress because I didn't want to spend too much money. I just wanted just for a day, and that's it. So I ended up getting a dress. I wasn't very happy with it, but I just settled for it. So then that's when I got the idea. I'm like, the moment our contract in Egypt expires and we move back to US, I could do that business here.
Ansel finally set up shop, but also because she boasts of selling quality, she had to choose her clients carefully.
The corporates, when we did the deliveries, most of our clients that we're delivering to did want uniqueness, they did want quality. And I mean, we do have clients all over the place, all over Kampala, but it was just like the majority of them were this side.
Doing business of this nature today is a bit challenging on its own due to the dominance by Asians and importation of second-hand clothes. However, Ansel,
I mean, I would say the market good, even with having in Thailand and all that stuff. I personally don't consider China, Turkey, Thailand. I don't consider them competition. They cannot the quality I have is not what they have, you know, and then 90% of what I have only comes in one piece. So it's something that you're going to wear, and you're going to wear it alone all around town.
Unlike many startups, struggle saved some money to usher her into her dream business.
At the beginning, I started with $700, bought dresses and shipped them over, paid taxes, and then just had my customers that had liked them. My sister would go and deliver to them, and you know, then that's how we're doing. We did that from July till February of 2013, so a few months.
Doing business is a daunting task for young mothers, like Ansel here shares her experience.
Definitely not easy, and especially like I have a young family and stuff. But yeah, I do go up myself. I go to all the different stores around, you know, where I live. I go to the malls. I have to go, you know. I mean, there are days where I go like at the moment the mall opens at 10 a.m. 7. Or looking through stuff, making sure it's priced the right way so I can be able to ship it here.
She also told me why most traders prefer China as their trading destination rather than markets in the West.
Now, I think why people prefer to go to China, one, is because things there are really, really cheap. And then the visa to get there is very easy as well. Compared, like if someone wanted to trade in the US, getting a US visa is not easy. And then on top of that, US is obviously more expensive. You get what you pay for, so it's quality stuff, but then it comes at a price as well.
This mother of three is by no doubt facing challenges doing business too.
With me having a young family and always having to go shopping and buy all the stuff and pack it up, and then being able to take care of my family, my kids and my husband, and then being able to put this together, that's hard. So I usually just hang in there. The mentality here, people think everything comes from China.
Today, Ansel appreciates the fact that her business has grown.
Well, my business is growing. Like, I went from doing door to door to getting, it was fairly small, to a small shop in town, to now this big space, which is what I'm comfortable, with. So it's definitely growing. I went from just doing dresses to now I'm doing, skirts, shoes, like anything you can think of, makeup, kids' clothing, tops, suits.
She also says that for her to stay afloat, she puts honesty first and has good future plans for her business too.
Number one is everything that I have is quality. I've heard of people that are like, I bring stuff from UK and then they bring it, they sell it, once it sells out, they go downtown and get stuff from China and mix it in. That is like my number one principle. Everything that I have, everything in my store comes from the States. It's quality. You're always guaranteed, it's going to be that and nothing else. Yeah, in the future, I see myself, I see us growing bigger. I mean, this is a fairly big space, but I'd like to expand. I would like to kind of have a store here that's kind of like a store in the US, something closer, but not quite there.
People start businesses for numerous reasons. For her, it was to be financially independent and to be
to me, the biggest thing now is that I've been able to create income for my mother and my sister and my nephew. That's like the biggest thing. I'm just happy that they can have, they don't have to ask me for anything. I'm just glad that they have an income. As you know, in Uganda, it's hard to find a job and something that really works.
With a big smile on her face, she appreciates family support for what she is today.
Yeah, going forward, number one is my husband. He's the best. Number two, I have a great why are you blushing? I have a great team. Have you seen her and my sister and my mom? They are the best.
We are
advantages that we have is we reduce congestion, because 60% of the traffic congestion in Kampala is actually attributed towards the school run.
NTV, turning on your world.
It is now becoming a common reality that heart-smart businessmen will always see opportunities in our day-to-day social problems. It is the same mindset that Oscar Ofumbi had when he started his business. The daily challenges that parents face when dropping or picking their children at school inspired him to start White Line School Bus Service.
It was really an opportunity because there was a challenge that existed in the market, and yes, because I received a vehicle from a friend. I had a school that needed transportation, and so I looked for a driver to come in and do the work. And so when he was unable to show up, I decided to jump in and drive it myself. So at the end of the day, I discovered that the money that was being paid was more than what the costs were. So I saw that as an opportunity and I decided to get into it full time.
So how does his business model exactly work?
Okay, well, the White Line School Bus, basically a business for children from home to school and then back home. That's really the whole business about. And one of the key advantages that we have is we reduce congestion. Because 60% of the traffic congestion in Kampala is actually attributed towards the school run. Because parents are rushing to take their children to school and at the same time also rushing to pick them up in the evening. So that traffic jam is actually caused. So that is really one of our key advantages that we help within the community.
However, before venturing into this line of business, Oscar had to cross a big line. A line that many always find hard to cross. That is giving up his professional career for the uncertain world of business because he aspired for more.
Well, I was working with the government. I was a state prosecutor. And after a while, the work was just not getting me to the places that I needed to go. Because first and foremost, it's a 9 to 5 job. So by 9 o'clock you start court, then from there, let's say depending on the volume, because I was in an upcountry station, the volume was low, so by about 11, the work is done. So you go back to office to fill out the other files and do the other paperwork. But ultimately, in the afternoon, if there was work in the afternoon, you had to share it between the other colleagues, and after a while, it just did not make much sense for me.
While some businesses start out with big capital resources, his was a true litmus test. Did they get a service-based business off the ground or not?
Because I had my own car and a friend of mine gave me a car, which is a 7-seater van. So the choice that I made between what I was going to do with a car that didn't have an engine and a car that was running and not generating any revenue. So I sold this car, bought the engine and placed it in. So the engine cost me, that was what put the car on the road and a few other repairs. Then that's what I said, okay, now here I have a car, and so what do I do with it? So that's when my sister gave me the opportunity to come in and start a business there.
In order to stabilize the business, some deliberate moves and investments, however, had to be made.
What we have done different really is the fact that we have taken time to invest in our infrastructure, both human resources and also in understanding the business. We benchmark a lot with different providers of the same service. And we do our business modeling literally on a quarterly basis. What is different? What has changed in our cost structure? So it's all those rigorous things that we do that enable us to keep afloat. Because managing working capital and managing your capital expenditure is a very tall order in terms of balancing.
Having been in this industry for some time, he is convinced that the pie is actually bigger than what the service providers can handle and is anchoring more hope on the impending oil economy.
So we're looking at a 600 billion shilling industry. That is how big the size of the market is. And it's actually expanding. We're looking forward to the oil production, because when that comes, it will not be a question of whether you want to use the school bus for your children. It will be a question of who do I use for the school bus service. Because when that oil begins to flow, information from other economies, workplaces become different. People will have to go up country to work as opposed to staying in Kampala. Now, either it's the husband or the wife. And then what happens is there is a gap between who is going to take the child to school.
Besides the dividends that have come his way, Oscar says his business has had many more contributions to the community.
Yes, there are job opportunities, because we are thinking industry-wide, not just location or area-wise. So when we have 5 franchises, that means by default we have created 10 jobs, because each car has 2 individuals in it. Then aspect of it, would recommend maybe about 2 supervisors. So by default we already have a dozen people in employment. And you do not require too many skills to actually be able to navigate and provide the service, especially for the ladies that are attending to the children on the bus. There are some basic trainings and skills that are required, which we do provide. Then the driver with a minimum type of class of driving permit.
And for those intending to join the business world, he has a word of counsel, which is a personal experience related to his line of trade.
I wouldn't agree that too many people are doing the same thing. The most critical thing is who takes the lead in that particular thing. Because there are many copycats and they will always come along. But the one that is doing their business in a particularly sustainable manner will get the business to the next level. And there will always be people coming on board, because I know of people who started and many copycats have followed them. And the ones that started have drowned, and the copycats have gone to do even much better than what they had copied. So I believe that the opportunity is best in the eyes to start the business. What are those things that... Are you going to consolidate the industry? Are you coming in to join? Are you coming in to make a difference? What are those things?
Relatedly, he believes that building a business on a clearly defined foundation that is also rooted in formal structures and systems is crucial for players in the services industry.
Well, we do have values and principles, especially issues of accountability and also social, especially. What we have done with our business, and we're now running it on a balanced scorecard system. And based on that, we have also agreed to do an ISO certification. And we have started that process. So what that means is we are streamlining all our business operations for the quality management system, the UNBS standards, and the host of others, which are environmental management system. It's important because we have to streamline what we do in order that others meet. We're thinking 20, 30 years from today. And what picture do we 10, 20 years from today? What picture do we want to have of the business? Is it going to look like it looked direction when we are done? Accountability, sustainability, quality management systems, the systems related to a lot of that in that regard.
For Oscar, all this effort has not been in vain, for he has a lot to point at as Director Chief.
As an individual, it has given me an opportunity to meet a lot of people, to learn a lot of new that they're repaired, and so our operational costs can be managed better, because you buy a tire and it's running down faster than what the manufacturer had recommended. Also, the costs of doing business, naturally. If I had an appeal, I would appeal to the Ministry of Finance to give us some incentives, really, for the industry, because we support the education sector.
NTV, turning on your world.
It is now becoming a common reality that heart-smart businessmen will always see opportunities in our day-to-day social problems. It is the same mindset that Oscar Ofumbi had when he started his business. The daily challenges that parents face when dropping or picking their children at school inspired him to start White Line School Bus Service.
It was really an opportunity, because there was a challenge that existed in the market, and we decided to fill up that void. Yes, because I received a vehicle from a friend, and my sister had a school that needed transportation, and so I looked for a driver to come in and do the work. And so when he was unable to show up, I decided to jump in and drive it myself. So that the money that was being paid was more than what the costs were. So I saw that as an opportunity, and I decided to get into it full time.
So how does his business model exactly work?
Okay, well, the White Line School Bus business centered around transportation of children from home to school and then back home. That's really the whole business about. And one of the key advantages that we have is we reduce congestion. Because 60% of the traffic congestion in Kampala is actually attributed towards the school run. Because parents are rushing to take their children to school, and at the same time also rushing to pick them up in the evening. So that traffic jam is actually caused. So that is really one of our advantages that we help within the community.
However, before venturing into this line of business, Oscar had to cross a big line, a line that many always find hard to cross. That is giving up his professional career for the uncertain world of business because he aspired for more.
Well, I was working with the government. I was a state prosecutor, and after a while, the work was just not getting me to the places that I needed to go, because first and foremost, it's a 9 to 5 job. So by 9 o'clock you start court, then from there, let's say depending on the volume, because I was in an up-country station, the volume was low, so by about 11 the work is done. So you go back to office and do the other paperwork. But ultimately in the afternoon, if there was work in the afternoon, you had to share it between the other colleagues, and after a while it just did not make much sense for me.
While some businesses start out with big capital resources, his was a true litmus test on whether little capital can easily get a service-based business off the ground or not.
Because I had my own car and a car, which is a Dudu, they call it today. It's a 7-seater van. So it was made between what I was going to do with a car that didn't have an engine and a car that was running and not generating any revenue. So I sold this car, bought the engine and placed it in. So the engine cost me about 3.5 or so, and then that was what put the car on the road, and a few other repairs. Then that's what I said, okay, now so what do I do with it? So that's when my sister gave me the opportunity to come in and start.
In order to stabilize the business, some deliberate had to be made.
What we have done different really is the fact that we have taken time to invest in our infrastructure, both human resources and also in understanding the business with different providers of the same service. And we do our business modeling literally on a quarterly basis. what is different, what has changed in our environment, what are our costs, what has changed in our cost structure. So it's all those rigorous things that we do that enable us to keep afloat, because managing working capital and managing your capital expenditure is a very tall order in terms of balancing.
Having been in this industry for some time,
NTV, turning on your world. NTV, turning on your world.
Hello and welcome to U-Report. For the next couple of weeks, we will meet young people across Uganda to discuss issues affecting us in our communities.
As young people, we need to unite and share the responsibility of making the environment a better place for all of us. We also need to inform the leaders of what is happening in our community, as well as let them know what we want.
U-Report is a free SMS-based system that allows you as a young Ugandan to speak out on issues affecting you in your community and across the country, and then work together with other community leaders for positive change.
U-Report gathers information from young Ugandans across the country and different media such as newspapers, radio, TV, Facebook, Twitter, and other community dialogues.
U-Report is made up of weekly SMS messages and polls from a growing community of U-Reporters. Currently, we have 230,000 U-Reporters spread across the country, with numbers growing each day.
What are you waiting for? Be heard. Your voice matters. Join U-Report today. It's easy. Step number 1. Text the word join to the number 8500. It's free across all networks. Step number 2. You'll receive a greeting message and a series of questions asking more about you. We are teaching you. Step number 3. After you answer those few questions, there you are. You're a U-Reporter. And then finally, step number 4. You will that will help you enact change in your community.
As part of the U-Report team, we traveled to seek one-on-one views, opinions, and share feedback with you.
Happening in your community, you are in fact a campaign that will help improve your community. No matter who you are, where you are, or what you do, we would like to hear from you because your opinion matters. By SMSing JOIN to the toll-free number 8500, anyone with a mobile phone can be able to join U-Report and become a U-Reporter. Your feedback will be shared with other U-Reporters across the country, members of parliament across the country, so that we can effect change in your community.
The U-Report team would like to hear from you too. All SMS messages you send to 8500 are free of charge.
I joined U-Report. Basically, most of the work, the questions and the topics that are discussed, we are trying to fight against the early pregnancies, the problem of water, yet other people also realize that it is there. So I sometimes become happy that the work I'm doing maybe is somewhere, some bit of being great.
I joined U-Report through newspapers. I read the article in the newspapers. It does. I was told by my sister, she actually challenged me. She was like, Alan, what are you doing around in the community? What have you tried to do for the fellow youth?
I'm able to express myself and I'm able to voice out all the challenges that I'm facing in my contact on the behalf of my fellow youths that we are living with.
What I like about your report is I feel relieved, especially when I express my feelings about what is going on in my community.
I joined your report after seeing a message on my phone. A message was asking me to type the word join, then I send it to 8500. Then they asked me to submit my surname. I submitted. Then other names I submitted, where I come from, my marital status, and so on. Okay, I joined the report to always submit my voices about about the generations, the situations, what I'm facing in my community, in my area, some like violence, corruption, unemployment, and so on. They update me about the views of other students or other people from other areas about their environment, corruption, how it's taking in the area, and others. Your report has helped me and the people of Shane to get to know how to deal with climate changes, how to deal with unemployment, starting their own projects so that they can avoid unemployment, and how to deal with the violence at homes, in schools, and in Shane district.
Your report is important to me because it helps me to express those bad habits in our community, schools, and even the whole village, like being unemployed, violence in schools.
I like to report the youths, as in their views get known by the wider country, and the way it is cheap, because we don't incur any costs. You only send and receive messages for free.
So your report has really done something tangible to us and to me specifically, because I've been dealing with people in the communities and they are doing on very well. So your report is very good for us as a district.
Topics and poll questions from the U-Report team have included disease outbreaks, health, safe water, unemployment, violence against children, early marriages, female genital mutilation, inflation, among others. Once a topic is decided, the team sends out a question who in return respond using a menu-based reply or personal messages. The U-Report team analyzes and interprets the responses and then shares the suggestions with the U-Reporters.
The most popular topics we've covered in U-Report include unemployment, poverty, the youth fund. That was a big one at the time when the government had allocated this amount of money to be given out to the young people to open up businesses for those that didn't have jobs, but for those that already had their enterprises running, this money was meant to help strengthen their financial foundations. Other topics include school dropout. That's also a pretty big one that we've had, and some of these we run them in collaboration with partners, including the Girls Education Movement GEM in schools across the country. Other organizations include the Uganda Scouts Association, as well as the Mild May, that are experts in HIV-related issues. U-Reporters are basically from across the average age. We have over half of them are males, then about 40% of them are females. People out there don't have to worry whether or not they're going to be quoted in the national newspaper or anything. We have anonymized all numbers and all names. That means that even myself, I'm not able to see who is sending what message. And so people out there do not have to worry about the type of SMS that they send us.
It is important for you to join New Report today, and if you have already joined, then you should be very active by responding to the weekly poll questions. Express your views, because you never know, your chance may be next to represent youth at an international level or at an... I represented the voices of the youth in Uganda today at a major world conference. That was the Rio Plus 20 that was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And at this conference, we're able to have the voices of the youth being heard by world leaders, not just Uganda, but world leaders.
I represented a New Report in New York on the Malala Day. And Malala Day, Malala is this girl who was shot by the Taliban in Pakistan because of education. It's really a very painful story, because also young girls and other young people from Karamoja all also experienced the same thing. Like before the government brought in the disarmament exercise, many of the young were killed by the cattle rustlers.
Join us, because it is the voice of the voiceless.
Everyone and anyone can become a U reporter. Become a U reporter today, and your voice matters a lot.
Become a U reporter today by texting JOIN to 8500. All SMSs are free.
I'm Najita Mariam from Bombo. I'm proud of being a U reporter.
Anna Bedewo Florence Mary, a U reporter, Metilera District.
What and be heard, your voice matters.
I call upon all girls and young people outside there to join U Report.
Become a U reporter today, because your voice matters.
If I'm to ask the government to change the education system,
for someone to go into marriage,
someone
will never have to have
the government can come in and say now.
Have your say. Text the word JOIN to 8500 for free. U Report, because your voice matters.
NTV, turning on your
say. Text the word JOIN to 8500 for free. U Report, because your voice matters.
Youth in Uganda, stand up, speak out on critical issues that affect you in your community. It's simple by texting the word JOIN to the toll-free number 8500. Anyone with a phone can be able to become a U reporter, and we can share papers, create change in our community. U Report is a weekly TV show that for the next couple of weeks will allow you as a young Ugandan to share out views that will help effect change in your community. Stories from the U Report community will be published in the newspapers.
U Report provides a platform for you to be able to amplify your voice through local and national media and alert stakeholders on what. For example, U Report was instrumental in addressing the problem of the nodding disease that affected children below the age of 15. UNICEF realized an increase in messages sent by the northern districts, and the U Report information on the symptoms and the available treatment.
U Report has empowered young people in Uganda in a couple of ways. First of all, the fact that U Report is not only as, an opportunity for them to be able to learn about different issues in their community, but they've also been able to influence policy in various ways. I'll give you an example of how the girls' education movement has been able to campaign, and using the results that they gathered using U Report, they were able to return several girls, even young mothers, back into schools. And this was through them getting information such as the reasons why young people leave school, what should be done, and the Girls' Education Movement GEM used those specific results to address the problems in those areas. Currently, U Report has been extended to other countries like Burundi, Zambia, South Sudan, and several other countries have expressed interest in starting to use U Report. The countries in the Western Central African region of Africa, then also several other countries like Libya.
In your world.
Mr. Action has proven he is the best. Knock out headaches with Action. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
You are lemon lime refreshment. Right there and there. And the time is right now. And time is right then. And good job. Good job, bottle of Sprite. Good job.
Now that Airtel and Worried have merged, can I use Airtel airtime cards on my 070 number or Worried airtime cards on my 075 number?
Yes, you may recharge your 070 or 075 number with either Airtel or Worried airtime cards. You're now part of a circle of 7.2 million friends. Enjoy the celebrations. Airtel.
I love my country, our bright colors, our wonderful weather, our ethnic diversity. So when I leave home and fly to another country, do I miss home? The answer is no, because I can fly Air Uganda and our beautiful nation will fly with me wherever I go. It's my country, it's my airline. Air Uganda, the wings of East Africa.
Zinagenda kubanga kubesimu ankwatireko. Now she's calling. Aliwa gwe tukubidde. Uno Haji ayambadde suti muko yiteri bwoti mabegeyo.
Kakati nina akakadde kamwe kalaba kayinza yengera wano naye nedda. Waliwo boxes 10 wano. Kakati omwami nga gwe ogenda kutwala ki sente ntono oba ogenda kunoonya miliyoni 5?
Ninza kuronda muni twale nyingi.
Ogenda kulonda akaboxi momukubireko mu bugalo. Eriwa Julius box joyonza. Julius olonzeeyo. Julius jebikulira box yo. Julius jamu sente zirimu omwo. Julius tubulire.
Tunula eri abantu ozibalage obabulire sente meka.
Miliyoni 1 n'ekichweka.
Miliyoni 1 n'ekitono.
Obugalo bwa Julius buliwa.
Obugalo bwa Julius. Bannange.
Kona.
This will we back again. Julius tuziniremo.
Don't take him to that school. Take him to that one that I told you about, the one to which I took my son. Wait. Remember? Junior?
Yes,
Come. Which school would you want to go to?
Adults consider my opinions. Will you?
NTV, turning on your world.
Receiving a report from a committee of 5 members.
FDC presidency decided. Committee of Elders gives General Muntu nod to serve complete 5-year term. Debate is rife over the rift at the helm of the legislature.
Played out in the media, the Kadaga Olanya impasse has drawn in the executive.
Well, the deadlock in the legislature also pits the speaker against the leader of government business, the Prime Minister.
On Newsnight tonight, we discuss the power battles at the Parliament buildings, but first things first, tonight's headlines. UPDF rushes tanks to border as situation remains unpredictable in restive eastern Congo.
And a travesty of justice as judicial officers taint their hands with graft.
Also tonight, Busoga and Choli take the flak for child abuse.
This is NTV Tonight.
A warm welcome once again to NTV Tonight. Now, a committee appointed to resolve the contentious leadership conflict in FDC has given Major General Mugisha Muntu the green light to serve another 5-year term.
Since the November 2012 elections pitting Muntu against the leader of opposition Nandala Mafabi, the party has been marred in a leadership crisis.
The 5-member team consisting of the outgoing Deputy Party Secretary General Augustine Ruzindana, Opposition Chief Whip Winifred Kiza and Bukoli Central MP Wafula Ogutu presented its findings today at the FDC offices in Najana Nkumbi.
Since his election last November, General Mugisha Muntu was sailed roughshod as the president of the Forum for Democratic Change Party. One of the contentious issues in his reign was whether he should serve at the helm for 2 years to complete Besige's term or serve a complete 5 years. After months of consultation with senior members of the party, including former FDC President Kizza Besigye and the outgoing party chairman Sam Njuba, the committee has finalized its findings on the issue.
We have adopted the recommendation of the committee that the presidency is going to be 5 years.
Even though this recommendation was reflected in the National Executive Council meetings of 1st and 29th August 2012, there was no official communication to the party members. Internal wrangles have continued to plague the largest opposition party in the country. The calm and amiable Mutu has re-echoed his commitment on restoring cohesion within the party.
Whatever internal contradictions arise, that we are going to keep putting our country above us. That we are going to keep putting this party above us. And we'll continue working, even amidst differences, to keep building cohesion and getting stronger and stronger.
Mutu's commitment comes after the chief campaigner for the Nandala team in the 2012 FDC party presidential election, Major Rubaramira Ruranga, joined the NRM party.
You are not going to fight this party. We are not going to fight people. We are going to box you.
Meanwhile, a group of youth stormed the party headquarters demanding disciplinary measures against Kampala woman MP Nabira Nagai.
Nabira Kizito nejja no sekretari Salaso Kenyini be batesewo embere tabangule ekibine era be batulemeseza ogenda mu buyinza.
However, they were blocked by police, who were earlier tipped off by Nabira's supporters.
You go.
That I cannot concentrate my effort on people who are definitely being paid. Those are kicks of a dying horse. I think those are the remnants of their boss Rubaramira who left the party.
Solomon Serwanja, NTV.
Thank you, Solomon Seranja. The Judicial Service Commission has cracked the whip, dismissing a number of judicial officers for corruption, drunkenness and laziness. The Secretary to the Judicial Service Commission, Kagole Chivumbi, informed Parliament this morning that 9 of the judicial officers have been relieved of their duties. Chivumbi was this morning appearing before the Public Accounts Committee to answer queries in the Auditor General's report for the year 2011-2012.
The judiciary, which is supposed to be a temple of justice, has often been ranked amongst the most corrupt institutions in Uganda. With such a tainted image, it came of no surprise when the 2013 East African Corruption Index ranked the judiciary as the second most corrupt institution in Uganda. According to the Judicial Service Commission, 161 complaints lodged against judicial officers in the year 2011-2012, some were incriminating, resulting into sacking of the 9 officers. They include Omodo Nyanga, Joshua Maruku, Gerard Sekaja, Cheptuke, Gaston Kamusa, Jojo Chom, Jenny Chota, Moses Indifuna, and John Ekitui.
If we catch you, we dismiss for just receiving a bribe. To the top ones, we certainly, the maximum we can go is to make recommendation to the appointing authority to establish a tribunal to inquire into the matter and then take appropriate action.
And the reason range from soliciting and receiving a bribe to laziness, drunkenness, and professional misconduct.
Kagore Chivumbi says this corruption cancer is largely common amongst the lower magistrates courts.
Magistrates and chief magistrates.
Magistrates and chief magistrates.
Were there complaints against judges?
They were there.
In the judiciary, they are very good officers, the majority of them. But magistrates related to these are the lay, the non-professional. The issue of judges is handled by the commission itself.
The commission revealed that it's easy to report judicial officers involved in corruption.
In Uganda, there are suggestion boxes at most district headquarters. If you cannot come to Judicial Service Commission, write a complaint. But even if you went on our email and sent a complaint, we'll look at the complaint.
The issue of poor remuneration of judicial officers is also a point of concern. Compared to its neighbors, Uganda's judicial officers are the least paid in the region.
A thief is a thief. Poor pay is not justification for engaging in corrupt tendencies. Those who receive a bribe, who receive bribes whom we have caught, are not people who are poorly paid. Judicial officers are paid higher than other public officers.
Kivumbi was this morning appearing before the Public Accounts Committee to answer queries in the Auditor General's report for the year 2011-2012. Jingo Francis, NTV Parliament.
A corruption watchdog body is worried about the delay in delivering a verdict over a contentious case challenging the composition of the Anti-Corruption Court. The Constitutional Court is yet to give a verdict over a petition challenging the legality and whether magistrates can sit on the bench of a High Court division. The Anti-Corruption Coalition says the delay continues to cripple the fight against graft.
According to the coalition, over 300 cases have not been heard after a petition challenging the legality of the Anti-Corruption Code was filed 6 months ago. The Constitutional Court issued an injunction after the petitioners argued that the magistrates do not have the jurisdiction to sit on the Anti-Corruption Court. However, since then, the Constitutional Court has not pronounced itself on the main petition. A litany of cases, especially those involving officials accused of stealing from the national coffers, have since then not been heard.
On our part, we feel it's really unreasonable, given the recent research that shows Uganda continues to top the region's tables when it comes to the fight against corruption. Because this is a court that at least has been able to bite. This is a court that has been able to, bring some bit of sanity within the country.
It is not a good picture for the Constitutional Court to expedite cases of a political nature and ignore to give the same sort of treatment to cases that touch on the people's courts.
No person shall be deprived of personal liberty except in the following cases.
There is also fear that if the Constitution Court rules in favor of the petitioners, it could send the Anti-Corruption Court into a tailspin. There is a view amongst legal circles that if it turns out that the judiciary erred in appointing magistrates to the anti-corruption court, all its decisions will be retrospectively be null and void. Currently, many suspects await trial, while others are out on bail. Kagaba says justice delayed is justice denied.
Initially, the Court of Appeal was not fully constituted. But right now, the Court of Appeal is fully constituted, and one only wonders why these cases are taking ages. But we also need to understand that the more a person delays on bail pending appeal, there's a possibility that the files can disappear. But then there's also another possibility that evidence on these files can be tampered with.
According to anti-graft activists, the anti-corruption court is a cornerstone of justice in this country, where corruption remains prevalent. They also want judges and magistrates to be properly remunerated. According to a World Bank report, Uganda loses over 500 billion shillings to procurement-related corruption, money enough to construct hundreds of hospitals across the country. Sudil Biaruhanga, NTV.
Thank you, Sudil Biaruhanga. And for our poll question tonight, we're asking, is the judiciary complicit in the delivery of justice?
Well, to have your say, do send us your SMS to 87778. Please do mention where your names and also where you live. And you can also join the discussion and debate on Facebook and on Twitter. Our Facebook page is NTV Uganda, and our NTV handle is at NTV Uganda. That's on Twitter. You can also use the hashtag NTV poll.
Moving on, the UPDF has assembled tanks at the Uganda Democratic Republic of Congo a few days after fighting in the restive neighboring state between government forces and M23 rebels ebbed. Last week, DRC government forces fired artillery shells which injured civilians in Kisoro district. Uganda's Foreign Affairs Minister Sam Kutesa issued a terse statement warning the Kinshasa government after this incident.
Led by 2 military police pickups, UPDF tanks carried by trailers sneaked through the border town of Bunagana at about 2 p.m. today. The military build-up comes at the time DRC government forces routed out to the M23 rebels in Bunagana near the Uganda border. Artillery shells fired on Monday from inside DRC injured civilians in Kisoro district. In turn, Uganda issued a tough statement warning the Kinshasa government. Efforts to talk to the UPDF Western Region spokesperson were futile. Up to now, refugees continue to flee the war zone in eastern DRC. Sadiq Abimana, a refugee from Congo, recounted his ordeal in Masai village and how he eluded death to flee to safety.
Nilikuwa kwa ngambo ya Masisi. Alafu nikaona hewa inakuwa mubaya sana. Nikajiondia kusema niingie kwa ngambo ya Uganda juu ndapata fasi ya kubakia. Kufika pale siku ya 6, nikapumzikia pale siku 2. Alafu siku ya kwanza njoo nikisikia mabomu yanakuwa mingi. Tulipita makatiliza pembeni mpaka kuingia hapa Kudwani.
The 50-year-old is among the over 8,000 refugees now camped at Nyakabande refugee transit camp in Kisoro district. Though the DRC government's pronouncement that it had taken control over the entire eastern region, Habimana is still skeptical about the situation back home.
Mie siya sadiki mzuri kama viti naisha. Ningali tuna wasiwasi.
Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Many thanks, Julius Senkandwa, who is part of our team that is stationed in Kisoro at the border there with the DRC. Now, could peace be on the horizon in the war-ravaged Democratic Republic of Congo after the M23 denounced rebellion? Observers say that unless underlying issues amongst different ethnicities are addressed, peace in the vast nation will remain illusionary.
The map of Africa looks like a revolver, and Congo is the trigger.
Recited by peace and conflict researcher Dr. Arthur Bainomugisha, these were the words of the late prominent Guyanese historian, political activist and scholar Walter Rodney in description of the perennial problems in Congo from the pre-colonial era. Rodney's choice to symbolize the Democratic Republic of Congo by way of a revolver's trigger could not have been more appropriate. The country has seen conflict one after the other. The latest in the Kivu province, involving the M23 rebels, appears to have been defeated by a UN special brigade, together with Congolese forces. The well-organized rebel outfit had for a while punched above its weight, often defeating the large but indisciplined Congo government army. So does their vanquish mean the return of peace to the country?
What essentially has happened is that M23 has lost the battle, but they have not lost the war. If you want to remember, about 8 months ago, M23 overran Goma and almost defeated the Congolese army and MONUC, the UN force. Of course, underpinning the conflict in the Congo is the whole issue of ethnicity that we talk about, ethnic nationalism, the whole question and the whole nationhood status of the Banyamulenge, the Tutsi people who are Congolese.
The size of Western Europe, the DRC is immensely rich. It is no surprise, therefore, that world powers remain the puppet masters of the regime, each trying to benefit from Congo's mineral wealth.
Judicial has argued in a book called Greed and Grievances, the Economic Agendas of Civil Wars, the availability of vast natural resources in a country attracts other people from resource-scarce regions of the world to come and capture them. They will see political and military elite capture internally, but also the regional capture and international capture.
With a weak government incapable of ably running its own affairs, Congo finds itself boxed in a corner with not much of a choice but to watch as others feast on its succulent carcass. However, Dr. Bainomjisha believes that with its immense resources, the DRC can not only assume control of its own affairs, but actually go on to become a regional power broker. But those with interests in the country will have to first come clean on their intentions before this happens.
We need to be honest. Who are the stakeholders in the Congo? And you'll find the stakeholders in the Congo are the citizens, the regional countries and people, the international community, including the UN. They have interests, and most of these interests actually are not that stability. They are about the resources of the Congo.
Speaking in Pretoria on Monday, President Museveni asserted that the persistence of Congo's problems are due to poor internal management, including an errant army, and the vast country playing host to enemies of neighboring states like Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda and Angola, which in turn breeds inter-ethnic tensions and hatred, as well as enmity among neighboring countries. Rwanda and Uganda have time and again been accused of providing support to the M23 rebels. Gabriel Epenu, NTV.
Let's take a break now. We return with these stories and so much more. Still to come, News Night with Andrew Mwenda.
Will the Cranes elude the sting from Rwanda's Amavubi Stars in friendly?
This is NTV Tonight.
It's another great day preparing meals for my family using Wansang Smart Kitchen. Wansang Smart Kitchen is made with exclusive material, is convenient and saves time. For the health and safety of my family, I now use the built-in dryer and sterilizer. Wansang Smart Kitchen with a built-in cooktop is my pride.
Wansang makes a difference. How deep is your love? If you really love your partner, put your love to the test. Visit your nearest Good Life clinic or health facility for HIV counseling and testing. It's free, fast, safe and confidential. This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health and KCC with support from USAID. A good life starts with good health.
Have you tested for HIV yet? Now that Airtel and Worried have merged, can I use Airtel airtime cards on my 070 number or Worried airtime cards on my 075 number?
Yes, you may recharge a 070 or 075 number with either Airtel or Worried airtime cards. You're now part of a circle of 7.2 million friends. Enjoy the celebrations. Airtel.
When I celebrate life, I celebrate with the best. Victoria Dry Gin. Once discovered, never lost. Have it with or without. With friends, with pleasure. If you think all dry gins are the same, taste it and tell the story. Victoria Dry Gin, flavoring the fun. A product of Devon Dallin Limited.
I'm Jackson Mayanja. I love Rigo paints.
Rainbow Gloss. It gives that high quality gloss effect. Weather Shield. It's the ultimate protector of your exterior wall. Regal Silk. It's the only washable silk available in the market. Rainbow Emulsion. It offers value for money. Hey, with Rainbow Emulsion 20-litre jerrycan, you can win free airtime from 5,000 to 100,000 shillings. Rough and tough. The best exterior texture paste paint available in the market.
Rigo paints. Paint it, love it.
This is NTV Tonight.
Glad you're still watching NTV Tonight. We now turn to this evening's poll question where we asked you, is the judiciary complicit in the delivery of justice?
Well, that discussion is ongoing, but you can also contribute via SMS to 8778, but also on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, thank you for your responses so far. It's about time we sampled a few of them. And I'll start with one here from Susan Shali Chasimire, who says, not at all. A fraud case taking a year, and at the end you convict and sentence to few months. Court is a wastage of resources. I think it's one way of keeping people busy. And I have another response here from Kafu Skills, who says, obviously they are complicit because most of the time many solicit money from people they are supposed to prosecute. It's all a nagging judiciary system. Injustice done to the very poor is unbelievable. Maurice? All
right, Rachel, there is, of course, a couple of comments on Twitter, which I could have easily done here on the tab, but many would wonder what exactly this screen does, and this is our in-house touch screen, so it actually does work. For those of you who think it doesn't, I'll begin with Herbert Oduru, who says, yes, the judiciary are also being influenced by the accused, hence hastening corruption. The number one, I think probably wanted to say one. I don't know whether it's 2 or 3, Rachel, so I'll stay with probably they are the like number one. Something in corruption. I probably think he wanted to say number one. As much as the minister's remarks were so bizarre, they had a little sense therein. And that is, of course, according to this story. There is a Congo comment there. There's a comment on the poll question here. And then I think this is Balas, who says it's not cause it's politically driven and it's not just. You don't finish your sentence. It's still hanging, a hanging sentence there. I will move to Mwine Edgar, who says the Uganda judicial system is a sham. It needs to be reconstructed such that the officers live up to the standard. Richie says, why not? They should be party to decision making. And I will end with Tugume Chris, who says, yes, because some people are sentenced to prison, yet they are not criminals, but because they are poor. Rachel?
All right. Thank you very much for your comments so far. Please do keep them coming. Would love to hear what your thoughts are. And we'll be sampling a few more of your responses at the end of this bulletin. 85% of the children in Busoga and the Choli sub-region have experienced physical, sexual and emotional violence. This is according to a recent study conducted by NAPCAN in collaboration with Makerere University. Activists now want cultural leaders to get involved in child rights advocacy because of the persistent increase in child abuse cases in Uganda.
These 12 boys were convinced by a mutual friend to go to Banquet to do casual labor for only 2 days. The boys are aged between 12 and 17. To their surprise, they ended up in Maction Falls and they have been staying in the forest for a while now. It is believed the boys were to be enrolled into a rebel group, but as luck would have it, they were rescued. APCAN, African Network for the Prevention and Protection Against Child Abuse and Neglect, in collaboration with Makerere University, today released a new report. It shows that almost 85% of children in Busoga and Acholi sub-regions have experienced physical, sexual and emotional violence. Officials are now calling for the intervention of cultural leaders.
For instance, here in Uganda, I think a word from the Kabaka is very big. If the Kabaka decreed the following day on something, it's a norm. The same applies to other kingdoms elsewhere.
The 2011 police crime report shows that 7,690 children were defiled and 1,775 children tortured, with the former registering a 5% increase to 8,076 cases recorded in 2012. Irene Namialo, NTV.
Now to matters of the judiciary, and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah, has defended the Amnesty Act and chastised those against it. Oulanyah proposes that for the Act to have purpose, the Amnesty Commission needs the support of other institutions like the judiciary.
Some consultation.
Speaking in support of the Amnesty Act, the Deputy Speaker Jacob Oulanyah had reason to back its necessity.
States must adopt reasonable amnesties to deal with post-conflict situation. It is in the international instrument.
The act was passed as part of efforts to end hostilities in northern Uganda and bring the LRA to the negotiating table. Stakeholders of the Amnesty Commission claimed that active rebellions are still going on in the region, with some Ugandans still involved with the LRA and ADF.
There are still a lot of rebellion still going on, especially taking the case of the LRA that has been in northern Uganda. We still have people who are actually active in Democratic Republic of Congo and Central African Republic.
Key sections of Uganda's Amnesty Act were allowed to lapse in May 2012, meaning that members of the armed groups, notably the Lord's Resistance Army, no longer automatically escaped prosecution if they willingly abandoned their armed struggle. PPK Onega, chairman of the Amnesty Commission, said that the commission has inadequate funding and needs more financial backing from the government.
There have never been enough. We have always had inadequate funding, and that is why we have not moved as fast as we would have otherwise moved.
Solomon Ruyonga Hans, NTV.
Now, just 2 years in its 5-year term, the 9th Parliament is locked in a power struggle. A storm is brewing between the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. As bet on whether the executive is involved simmers, observers allude to the fact that there is much more than meets the eye. On Newsnight, we unravel the underlying factors behind these power battles. Many thanks for joining us. You're watching Newsnight. Andrew, welcome to Newsnight. We'll begin with your thoughts.
Call me old man of the clan.
Well, we'll discuss that on another day. Let's discuss the power battles in the corridors at Parliament. You have the latest being the Speaker vis-a-vis versus the Deputy Speaker, but also we know that there is another underlying battle between the Speaker and the Prime Minister. Your 10 cents on this?
Yes, I think that if you look at NRM internally, it is deeply fractionalized along personal egos. So you have the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga. She can't get along with the Deputy Speaker, Jacob Oulanyah. The Speaker of Parliament, Kadaga, cannot get along with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister and the President are not working very well. You have seen the red pepper keep reporting.
Yes, I was about to say that hasn't come out, so we will.
There have been some minor reports, but one of these days a big story may come out in the newspapers about the rift. And I think that this rift is symptomatic of something outside of the NRM. It is a demonstration that actually the opposition in Uganda has increasingly become weaker. You see, NRM's internal organizational coherence has always been predicated upon the strength of its opponents. Whenever its opponents have been very strong, it has tended to threaten NRM into becoming more cohesive and therefore acting as one unit. But as the opposition has become radicalized and therefore become much weaker, the submerged tensions and the divisions inside the NRM now have taken center stage.
But critics would argue and say the divisions within a party, like any other party, are actually good for the party and actually bring the party closer and makes it stronger. It depends,
Morris. It depends. You see, if divisions inside the party are over whether to adopt a policy of the state controlling the commanding heads of the economy or whether the state should do purely privatize and let the private sector be the driver of growth, that is a healthy source of friction and division in a political party. But when the source of tension, friction in a political party is the personal egos of individual players fighting over power and privilege, then that is very destructive.
But the power game and the power in fighting has actually been in Parliament and hasn't actually flown out of Parliament to the party. And many in the party would actually say the party is almost stronger than it was even in 2011.
You see, NRM...
They just won an election, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
You see, this is why I'm telling you that the opposition in Uganda has increasingly become very, very, very weak. Why is it weak? Because it has gotten radicalized and it's appealing only to its base without trying to reach out to so many other Ugandans who are disenchanted with the government but do not see an alternative in the opposition. The NRM being almost the only bull on the scene. Look at 2010.
Yes.
NRM had the primary election that was so bad. Many of its own members were humiliated, cheated, and defeated in the primaries in unfair ways. Normally, you would have expected their frustrations to force them to go to the opposition.
Yes.
All of them remained inside NRM, and when they decided to run, they did not run on a UPC, DP, or FDC ticket. They decided to run as independents, but allied to NRM. That shows you how strong the NRM has become now. Because of that strength, almost a kind of monopoly position, that has created room for quarrels to emerge within the party. But these quarrels are not based on any form of policy division, they are based on personal egos.
Yes, but many would argue, yes. Okay, you can...
The second thing about NRM is, over time, NRM lacks an ideological anchor. You cannot say that the different people within NRM are brought together around a great idea, whether to advance the cause of democracy, whether to advance the cause of clean and honest government, whether to advance the cause of East African integration. No. NRM is a collection of powerful individual elites within Uganda whose primary objective is to access power and privilege and use power and privilege to accumulate material resources.
But many
have status.
Yes, but many would say the NRM is actually broke, an extremely broke party that only relies on the fact that its members are in government.
Exactly. The NRM organizationally does not have funds except when the president is able to mobilize for it, either funds from the state or funds from his external friends and the private sector. But the advantage NRM has, it is in control of the state. Because they control the state, if you're a member of NRM, you can be one of the 300 RDCs that we have and deputy RDCs. You can be one of the 77 ministers, one of the 117 presidential advisors. You can also be one of the hundreds and hundreds of directors.
Yes, I get the gist of where you're going. Let's discuss something.
On the boards of semi-autonomous government bodies.
Yes, let's discuss something that comes up in these power battles between the Speaker and the Prime Minister. There is something everyone talks about called the queue. I don't know if you actually believe in this queue, the queue for power, the queue for the presidency.
Well, I think...
Is there something like that?
Yes, you see, President Yoweri Museveni can, every single day that passes, the number of days he can stay in office reduce. Because either he can be defeated in an election or he can die. So, he does not have an unlimited period of time within which he can be in power. That means that he has stayed longer in power. Now it's coming to 30 years. Many people are positioning themselves for succession. Among them, you can see Kadaga. Among them, you can see Tinyefuza. Among them, you can see Amama Mbabazi. Those are the contenders for the throne. But I personally think that if President Museveni was able to identify early in time, a particular person say, this is my successor, it will attract a lot of envy and therefore focus on that person. He will be attacked, criticized, they will look for every mistake in order to bring him down so that the others who are not the selected successors can have a chance. But
yes,
in the event, and God forbid, President Museveni dropped dead today, if you ask me, what would happen in Uganda?
Yes.
I personally believe that there would have to be a primary in the NRM. The constitution says the vice president takes over for 6 months and organizes an election.
Yes.
There would be a primary in the NRM, and in that primary, you would have 3 candidates: Kadaga, Amama Mbabazi, and Janet Museveni. My own calculation is that Mrs. Janet Museveni has a higher chance of defeating Kadaga and Amama. Why? Because the powerful forces inside the NRM would initially be scared of Amama Mbabazi. They have had battles with him, and they think he will settle scores with them. So their first aim would be to stop Mbabazi. In trying to stop Mbabazi, they may tend to rally around Janet because she has a brand name, the Museveni clan. So, and if she defeats Kadaga and Mbabazi in the NRM primary, she's the NRM candidate for the presidency, she will have to face Besigye in the national election. Now, I don't know whether Mbabazi would walk away and join Besigye, but whatever it is, in a battle between Besigye and Janet Museveni, I think she would defeat him. Why? Because she has an evangelical vote, she has the women's vote, she has the Museveni brand, and she will have the infrastructure of the state to help her, you know, have an unfair advantage over Besigye. So, if we talk of succession in Uganda, we are likely to have a family succession as a high possibility.
You really have touched on something that we will have to continue a debate on, and that is the succession topic and many other factors. But just quickly, in a few seconds of your time, you sit and speak with the president. You're friends with the president. Let's talk about 2016.
Who said friends with the president? I thought you are also his friend.
It's written in several
Do you want to reveal where you and him were together somewhere and he was singing a lot of praises?
That is for another day. But let's talk about 2016. Has he talked to you, and has he actually said, I will stand? Or do you actually see any signs that he will stand in 2016?
I don't think that President Museveni has a fixed position on 2016. I personally think that most likely, 99% of the chances are he's going to run. But there's a time in 2011 after he had been defeated Besigye thoroughly, I went and stayed with him in Rwachtura, and we had a long conversation, we had a series of conversations during that time.
Clearly not private anymore, yes.
Yes, but I got the sense from a conversation with him that he was looking beyond himself. So, but then there was walk to work and things changed, and later I realized that possibly his mind has changed. So I don't think that the president has a fixed position on these things. Perhaps something can happen which convinces him that he is in such. There are 2 ways in which I think Museveni can leave power. Either he is in such a strong position that there isn't any threat whatsoever to his power, and then he's magnanimous enough to leave, or he feels that his position in the presidency is untenable, has no option but to leave. So you already those 2 extremes.
We will continue this debate, Andrew, and tomorrow when Newsnight returns, we will continue the succession talk. Andrew, just touching or just scratching the surface, and that was Newsnight. NTV Tonight continues in a moment with Malcolm with the latest in business.
This is NTV Tonight.
At Canaan Sites Limited, we have well-planned and organized estates with genuine Milo-Line titles. All our estates are easily accessible. We also offer land loan financing arrangements. Come and buy from our estates in Seeta, Lakeside Estate Nkumba, Mukono Town, Gayaza Chira Royal Estate, Nabingo, Kajansi, Chitende Gardens, and many more. Call 0772-459-555 or check on our website at www.canaansites.co.ug.
Canaan Sites Limited, we settle you.
Put the goodness and flavor of pure sunshine into your cooking with Sunseed Premium Sunflower Oil. Zero cholesterol is good for your heart. And great moms know that Sunseed fries golden and light every time for a taste the family can't resist.
Put the goodness of the sun into your cooking. Better taste, better health, better value. Sunseed Sunflower Oil. Eat light, taste right.
big in the Saddle-In Scratch to Win Bonanza. You could win a fridge, TV, airtime or motorbike and lots more. Also, you get to enter a grand draw to win a car or a plot of land. Go to your nearest Saddle-In dealer and for every 100,000 shillings you spend, you get a scratch card to win a prize instantly. Get more than paint in the Saddle-In Scratch to Win Bonanza. Saddle-In. Color your world. Terms and conditions apply.
NTV Business is brought to you by
Uganda Telecom, Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
We can now turn to business. My name is Malcolm Simi. Now, having problems managing your power bills? Well, it could be time you're going to start managing the bills or the power yourself. Utility firm Umeme says it is seeking approval from the Electricity Regulatory Authority to push up the installation of prepaid meters across the country. Umeme's managing director, Charles Chapman, says they are now seeking financing to the tune of 100 billion shillings to support installation beyond 150,000 units that are connected so far.
Umeme says it is obtaining efficiency in both supply and collection of revenue through its prepaid metering system, and that is still awaiting the approval of the Electricity Regulatory Authority to roll out the scheme countrywide.
Next year we will have a date when all new customers will go on to prepayment, and we're currently in discussions to obtain approval from the regulator between now and the end of the year, probably to do something like 100 to 150,000 prepayment meters next year. We would like, and this is why we're raising this finance, to make sure that we retrofit. In other words, those people who are on postpaid meters now, we retrofit those customers within 3 years.
Charles Chapman, the managing director of Umeme, is also saying that the firm is looking to external funds to the tune of billions of shillings to enable it to support the rollout plan.
So we're now planning to invest somewhere in excess of $400 million, of which probably around about $170 million will be raised by external and internal banks. So those funds will be brought into Uganda and invested in the network.
The utility firm, however, remains non-committal as to whether the current high tariff rates being charged across the spectrum of domestic and industrial consumers could adjust downwards.
The price of electricity is a very important factor, and there is no doubt that investing in hydro generation is the way to bring the cost of electricity down. That said, Umeme only accounts for about 30% of the tariff. We are a distributor.
Karuma Power Dam, once complete, is expected to raise the threshold of internal hydro energy supply by at least 600 megawatts in the next 4 to 5 years. Reina Ojan, NTV Business.
Now, with eyes set on growing its market share and expand business, National Insurance Corporation, a public listed company, will do a rights issue worth 84 billion shillings to its shareholders come the 22nd of November. A rights issue involves offering of shares for sale to existing shareholders as a way of raising capital. NTV Samuel Setuma reports that up to 323 million shares are on offer.
If you're a shareholder of National Insurance Corporation, prepare to receive 4 more shares for every 5 you hold, but at a fee of 26 shillings per share. Nick intends to raise 84 billion shillings, which the company claims will help it increase shareholder value going forward.
We want to use it to expand our business in terms of being able to take on larger risks. Of course, we're also aware of the emerging opportunities in the oil and gas, oil and energy sector. We want to position ourselves to be ready.
The opening date for the offer of the extra shares, also known as the rights issue, is 22nd of November, and the closure date is 13th December. 323 million shares are on offer, and these can be sold on the securities exchange if any shareholder does not buy them. The company is also eyeing improvement of the buildings it holds as income sources, among others.
There is micro-insurance. Agricultural insurance is a very key aspect.
This is only the second rights issue in the last 3 years after New Visions, and is set to lend some vibrancy to Uganda's stock market. Samuel Setumba, NTV Business.
Thank you, Sam. The World Bank says government needs to leverage the current high mobile phone density in Uganda in promoting accountability through enabling feedback on performance of both donor and state-funded projects. Mustafa Ndiaye, the country manager for the World Bank, was speaking at the signing of a memorandum of understanding with his UNICEF counterpart, Dr. Sharad Sapra, to scale up accountability measures across all sectors.
With over 13 million active mobile phone handset users in Uganda today, the World Bank says efficiency in government ministries and departments could be monitored through this platform by the public.
In the beginning, the World Bank recognized the potential of leveraging the existing ICT tools such as report for citizen engagement and targeted beneficiary feedback for the purpose of improving World Bank finance operation in various sectors.
Mustafa Ndiaye, the country manager of the World Bank, says that a new partnership signed here in Kampala this morning with UNICEF would now enable the use of information and communication technology so as to improve accountability in Uganda.
Government agencies and development partners in Uganda are experimenting with a wide variety of technologies to enhance data-driven decision-making, increase accountability in public service delivery, and improve citizen engagement.
The memorandum of understanding between the two UN agencies with critical focus on financing development projects and health services will now shift on UNICEF's innovation to widen on accountability in health, education and agriculture.
EduTrack, which with their support and leadership hopefully will be in place in the whole country in the education sector, and USAID is looking at DevTrack for the governance thing. So there's a whole range of tools. So I'm happy that we are able to do this, and hopefully this becomes a model for the rest of the world.
If successful, this move is expected to cushion the ongoing demand for reviews on government e-transaction systems, a safety net against embezzlement, as is being pushed by donors. Reina Ojon, NTV Business.
Thank you, Reina. And with that World Bank story, we bring business to close. Coming up is sport.
This sweet deal from Uganda Telecom. Corporate mega bonus. You just pay 15,000 and you talk for the whole month. UTL to UTL.
Uganda Telecom, Uganda's most affordable telecom service.
What do you get when you mix hot music with fun soccer? Bell Fiesta is new, it's exciting, it's so much fun in the Bell Nation. Bell Fiesta combines the ultimate thrills of music with fun of soccer into one must-see, must-enjoy event coming soon to a venue near you. With human football table, inflatable penalty shootouts, dribbling to the beat, hot artist performances, and so much more. Don't miss the next Bell Fiesta party. With so much to enjoy, you'll be praying for extra time. Bell Fiesta, only in the Bell Nation. Diruyo! It's time to go dancing in Aringo, because if you're on Airtel or worried, you stand a chance to win up to 5 million shillings every day.
5 million!
I'm on my way coming,
Yeah.
so just be ready to enjoy this 5M.
Twabale yo mwenamba gamba awakazanyije kali kato. Nimbasaba muzana kazano ka diriyo nino muhangure sente nkizina hangura.
Yes, 5 million shillings, ayo Diruyo! All you have to do is SMS the word WIN to 188, answer the simple questions that follow, and then you will enter a draw to come to NTV and get a chance to simply pick a box and win loads of cash.
Only with Airtel.
Welcome to NTV Sport. Tonight, the Confederation of African Football should expect a letter from FIFA in its mailbox.
FIFA has written to the African football governing body to verify if Emmanuel Okwi and Godfrey Walusimbi can feature in next year's African Nations Championship.
Well, Sam Poser reports the two SC Villa players are expected to line up in next week's international friendly against Rwanda.
National football coach Micho Solodojevic will have to wait a day longer before his side takes on Rwanda in an international friendly game next week. The match had originally been scheduled to take place on Friday next week. Today, FIFA announced that the match will instead be held a day after. FIFA officials say the change of hearts has much to do with the fact that November 16th is the day FIFA has gazetted for international friendly matches.
The fee for the match will be 10,000 for ordinary entrance and 20,000 for VIP. The referees for the match are expected to be coming from Tanzania. Initially, we had written to Kenya, but we've not got a response from Kenya yet. But we've got a confirmation from Tanzania.
Micho intends to use the friendly match to gauge home-based players, whom he shall unleash in both the Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup and the African Nations Championship.
As a coach, I would be very, very glad that all available players. But unfortunately, there are times in life where, for the sake of your future, you need to do certain step that could be regarded as a risk, but in the same moment, it is something what will, in a longer road, be investment into the competition we are going after Sekafa, and that is Chan.
We think that this is going to be a very good opportunity for us to prepare for qualification, as has been mentioned by the coach.
Meanwhile, FIFA has petitioned the Confederation of Africa Football to clarify on the status of SC Villa players Emmanuel Okwi and Godfrey Walusimbi. The two Uganda Cranes stars are currently using provisional licenses to turn out in the FIFA Super League after quitting the paid ranks. FIFA wants to ascertain whether the provisional licenses will make them ineligible to feature in the African Nations Championship early next year. The Uganda Cranes, who have won 13 Sekafa titles, will be participating in their second consecutive African Nations Championship. Sam Poser, NTV Sport.
Magic Stormers have become the latest team to qualify for the basketball playoff semi-finals. The Stormers have just beaten Macquarie Sparks 50-59 to sweep the three-game series 2-0. Yesterday, A1 Challenge became the first team to qualify for the playoff semi-finals after sweeping KRU Rangers 2-0. In what proved to be a forgettable night for KRU sides, Jimmy Enabu's 19 points led the City Oilers to a comprehensive 70-56 win over the Titans. Currently, record champions Falcons and UCU Cannons are locking horns. The latest score from that match is 33-all at halftime. Moving on, KRVC ladies are tonight in celebratory mode after booking themselves a place in the National Volleyball League final with a straight sets victory against Nkumba at the Lugogo Arena. KRVC will now meet Ndeje University elites in a highly anticipated final in a best-of-5 series. This after they made light work of Nkumba in today's decisive game. KRVC signaled their intent by winning 25-20, 25-15 and 25-19. They will hope to carry that same form into next week's 5-match series against the Ndeje elites.
To Motocross now, and Ugandan riders will this Sunday kickstart the third and final round of the Central Motocross Championship in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi with a 490-point deficit to wipe out. Team Uganda captain Arthur Blick, as well as the Van P brothers, Maxime and Oliver, are expected to put in good shifts against the Kenyans. Uganda won the title last year after winning 2 of the 3 rounds. A win in Nairobi at the Jamhuri Park on Sunday will see the 22-strong team retain the title.
This time we're going to look at Maxime Van P, who will be expecting to put up a fit. Maxime and Olivier Van P will put up a fit against Shivam Vinayak and Tutu Maina from Kenya. Uganda is 490 points behind. So they have to put up as many podium positions as they can to ensure that they win this third leg and be able to redeem the crown that they lost to Kenya in the first leg in Nairobi.
On to international sport now. Arsenal will miss the services of Jack Wilshere and Matthew Flamini in their Champions League tie against Borussia Dortmund tonight. Elsewhere, Novak Djokovic overcame Roger Federer in the ATP World Tour finals, but the sub won't end the year as world #1 after Rafael Nadal beat Stanislas Wawrinka a few hours ago. These stories and more in our international sports roundup.
Arsenal are without midfielder Jack Wilshere, who is recovering from an ankle injury, as they aim to avoid a successive defeat by Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. The Gunners lost 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium a fortnight ago and are level on 6 points with Dortmund and Napoli. Kieran Gibbs is available after a hip problem, while Matthew Flamini has not travelled because of a groin injury. Theo Walcott remains out following a minor abdominal surgery. In tennis, Novak Djokovic beat Roger Federer for the second time in 3 days to get his ATP World Tour Finals defense off to a solid start. Djokovic followed up Saturday's Paris semi-final victory with a 6-4, 6-7, 2-7, 6-2 win at the 0-2 Arena. This result keeps alive his slender hopes of ending the year as world #1. In golf, Dustin Johnson held his nerve to earn victory in the WGC Champions Tournament in Shanghai. Leading by 3 shots ahead of the final round, the American carded a fine 6 under par 66 to finish at 24 under. He finished 3 clear of England's Ian Potter, who was also 6 under on Sunday, while Northern Ireland's Graham McDowell was a shot behind. Englishman Justin Rose ended 8 behind Johnson, while Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy finished at 15. In cricket, England's Michael Carberry boosted his hopes of playing in the Ashes with a 153 not out. The Hampshire star batted through the entire first day against Australia as he and captain Alastair Cook made a commanding 318 without a loss. After being named in the Ashes touring part ahead of Nick Compton and scoring 78 and 113 not out, he is remaining grounded about his prospects of playing in Brisbane in a fortnight.
That's all we had for you on NTV Sport. Thanks for watching.
Well, we've run out of time. We cannot, unfortunately, sample some of your comments on the NTV poll. However, we thank you so much for your contributions and for joining us on NTV tonight. Good evening.